Alrighty, everybody. Flamin' Shark back with another video, and today we're going to be jumping in to episode 22 of Fate Stay Night and episode 4 of Unlimited Blade Works. That's right, we got another episode of Unlimited Blade Works coming up. The last two episodes have both been great. I think Unlimited Blade Works is off to a stronger start than the Fate route, but it definitely feels very intentional. Like, it definitely feels like the game is like, okay, you've played a route of the story, so we can kind of, you know, we really slow burned the Fate route. And not to say that there isn't going to be some degree of a slow burn in all three of the routes, but it definitely felt, the pacing definitely feels a little more boom boom boom, like let's go, than the Fate route did, which makes sense because, again, we did go through the Fate route in the previous deal. And also, I'm recording this right before you guys are gonna see it, so I'm gonna record this, get it edited, rendered, and upload it all real quick, so you guys are gonna see this right away. You know, my back's a little iffy, so we'll see how long this episode goes. If it's a really eventful day like the previous one, we might just go for like a single day of content, because the last day was a good 3 hours, and I'm not really looking to do a super long episode, although I do want to get in some long episodes of Unlimited Blade Works soon, so we'll see where it goes. Like I said, it's all feel. Who knows? Maybe I'll end up, before I know it, we'll be 4 hours deep. Who knows? But I'm kind of thinking like more like in the 2 to 3 hour range, like the more lower end in terms of episode length. But again, we're posting consistently. The rotation's fixed now, so everything's like kind of all coming together now, so that's good. But yeah, no, you guys are getting this fresh, hot off the presses. I'm recording this, and then it'll be right out. But works out all the same. No different really for you guys. But I have not gotten ahead, so it's been a little while since I actually recorded the last one. Couple weeks, I guess. About just over 2 weeks. But yeah, this episode's called, or this day is called Faker. Who knows? Maybe that will be the name of the episode. But yeah, I'm not sure what to expect with this. Like I said, maybe caster stuff. I mean, Faker could refer to so many things, but the autosave said I'm dreaming. So yeah, there you go. I'm dreaming. Using a thin connected circuit like a blood vessel, I see a memory I can't reach. This was his memory. At least it isn't mine. This is someone else's story. It's so long ago that he doesn't think about it. A memory so distant that he doesn't even try to recall it. A memory so old that he can't even remember it. I'm assuming Archer, because we kind of did the dream stuff, and there was obviously Kiritsugu stuff in it, but it was like Saber-themed dreams, and I'm wondering if that's like another thing that's different from this route and the first one. They are the heavy shackles of a contract set in stone, unable to be changed or retracted. It's not like he wanted anything. Interesting shot. Rather, he was the type of person who could not stand many things. He could not stand if there was someone crying near him. He could not stand if there was someone hurt near him. He could not stand if there was someone dying near him. That was the only reason. And for only that reason, he tried to save everyone within view. He was so clumsy that it would make you nervous watching him. But he would accomplish it in the end and change many a fate. Hey, title drop. To that end, his life was full of blessedness. The awkward, inelegant battles he fought had meaning. For as much as he was hurt and stared down death, he was equally able to save people. There was one pitfall there. Everyone within view, yet you cannot wholly look upon yourself. So in the end, he was not able to save the most important person of all, himself. Interesting. I don't know how it ended up like that. No, it should be the other way around. It was a wonder it didn't end up like that sooner. And so there was a terrible disaster. Many people died and many more faced death. There was nothing he alone could do. With so many deaths and inevitability before him, let me make a contract. I shall give you life after death. I would take compensation now. See, See, now I really want to play this game, you know, especially after Excalibur in the Fate route. I really do want to figure out who Archer is, but I just know I'm not going to, because this is not really my strong suit, to be perfectly honest. Let me make a contract. I shall give you my life after death. I would take compensation now. So presumably that's Archer saying that to someone. Yes, he made him contract with a mysterious thing known as Zawardo, throwing away himself to save all those living here. Huh. The birth of a hero. That's it. There's nothing after that. Even if he is called a hero, it doesn't change what he does. From the start, his objective wasn't to become a hero. He merely needed a hero's power as part of the process. It's kind of really interesting, especially framing this in the context of, like, Emiya's, like, champion of justice stuff. It's, like, really interesting. Even then, his ending came quickly. A savior is nothing but a nuisance to those who are not saved. He understands his own powers and the extent of the world. He accepts there are those that he can and cannot save, and that's a really interesting line, again, especially in the context of Shirou. And so he wanted those within sight to be happy, at least. Others becried it as hypocrisy. Ugh. There were many who despised him for his narrow-mindedness. Even then, the way that he silently pursued his ideals was something he should have been proud of. But in the end, he faced an uncompensated death, as per the contract. And there's the swords. And in the end, he reached that place. There are some sick swords in this shot. Blades, I should say. He had friends and a lover. But cornered by his ideal, he lost it all. With no place to go, carrying the voices of resentment with him, he continued to fight. He knew of his fate, heading towards death, but he used that to try to perform the miracles that were beyond his capacity. But that comes to an end. He arrives at the Hill of Swords. The end of his battle came on a mound with rusted, ownerless blades. Alone after all. Even then, there was nothing to regret if he was able to save everyone within view. He smiles with satisfaction and lets go of the sword. And that lines up with what Archer told us. Which, again, makes him an interesting servant. Because he died satisfied with his life and his choices. My body feels heavy. I feel awful as I wake, as I'm immediately assaulted by a headache. I mutter while getting up. It's already past 6 a.m. Well, for me, it's 4:52, and after I record this and get and edit it, and while this is rendering, I'll probably go out and get like a sandwich or something. I don't know, whatever, depending on what's open. I jump out of bed and change quickly. Fuji-nee and Sakura have morning practice. They leave at 6:30 a.m., so I won't make it unless I hurry. Oh, this theme is such a vibe. After I see them off, I drink tea with Saber after breakfast. The morning goes by in a whirlwind, and before I know it, it's past 7 a.m.
それじゃあ行ってくる。留守番よろしくな、セイバー。
はい。シローも気をつけて。リンの助力があるとはいえ、無茶はしないように。
Yeah, that's a good advice.
まあ、昨日で懲りてる。敵を追いかけるときは、セイバーの力を借りるよ。
I wave goodbye to Saber and leave. The morning air is peaceful, but the school that I'm about to head to is completely different. I brace myself as I go down the hill. Tosaka is a right and proper master. I need to step up or I'll just make a fool of myself. It's not a bad mindset to have. I greet my classmates as I get to my seat. Nani? Along the way, I make eye contact with an unexpected person and I'm momentarily at a loss for words. Shinji! Are you serious? It's instinctive. I storm toward Shinji.
シンジ、お前。
いやあ、エミヤ。どうしたんだよ。今朝は随分と物騒じゃないか。何？僕が休んでる時に何かあったの？
According to Emiya, he's not entirely sure he saw Shinji, but I'm sure I saw Shinji in that interesting interaction with the purple-haired lady.
何かあったじゃない。お前、三綴りに何をした？
And then there's that.
三綴？ああ、綾子ね。何でも家出してたらしいじゃん。僕も今朝道場で聞いたよ。昨日シントの方で見つかったんだってね。
Yeah. Sure, bro. None of this is funny, but Shinji laughs because he's an absolute dickhead. The look in his eyes tells me he's delighted by mocking Mitsuzuri.
とぼけるな。三綴りと最後に会ったのはお前だろう。その時、あいつに何をしたかって聞いてるんだよ、俺は。
Mm-hmm.
はあ？何をしたかって？ただの世間話。それをさ、聞いたかいエミヤ。綾子のやつ、そこいらの路地裏に転がってたんだぜ。フラフラでさ、制服もボロボロだったって話さ。
The fact that you're bragging about this after, again, the interaction we had with Ryder, and the fact that all of this is basically your fault, and the fact that you fucked us up, like, everything about this is psychotic, Shinji. You are an absolute, like, maniac.
いや、何があったか知らないけどさ、ちょっと聞き捨てならないよな。普段から選ぶってるあいつがさ、どんな風に捨てられてたか興味あるよね。
Dude, the fucking, I mean, for such a pussy, he has cojones. Like, about how that bitchy brat got trashed is crazy. Yeah.
どうしたんだよ。そんな怖い顔して。冗談だよ、冗談。本気にするなって。それに綾子は保護されたんだろ。家で療養中だっけ。ま、あいつが帰ってくる頃には噂話も広まってるだろうから、何かとやりづらくなるだろうけど。
I'm not gonna lie. I know we're in the middle of school, but I don't think anyone would blame you if you smacked the fuck out of Shinji right now. Like, holy fuck. What the fuck, dude? Shirou, go for it if you want.
お前、今の話、弓道部のみんなに話したっていうのか。
Of course he did. It's Shinji.
さあね。けどもう1年の間じゃ有名だぜ。伝言ゲームじゃないけど、昨日のうちからくるくる回ってたらしいからさ。
Lovely. I can feel my fists clenching and clamp down on the urge I'm feeling. Yeah, I get it, bro. I really do get it. Shinji is just the absolute worst. The fact that you're his quote-unquote friend is something. Did he go around telling everyone such a story? Mitsuzuri is a girl. Everyone knows she's strong, but even so. Regardless of how strong she is, rumors like that have a way of eating away at anybody. Did he go around telling everyone knowing that? Of course he did. Again, it's Shinji. It's being kept from everybody for a reason, but he's deliberately spreading rumors to hurt her.
シンジ、お前。
I grab his shoulders.
そう睨むなよ。僕は知らないって言ってるだろ。身勝手な思いつきで言いがかりをつけると後悔するよ、エミヤ。
Jesus. Shrugging out of my grip, Shinji goes to his seat. The homeroom bell rings. I can't stay standing here. With a glance at Shinji, I'm forced to make my way back to my seat. Well, that was an interaction of all time. The day ends. School's over and the student body heads home in waves. I could have further interrogated Shinji, but I didn't have any kind of proof to corner him. Even if he was in the woods, I don't have anything if he just says he wasn't there.
先に確証を取らないと。
Yeah, need to find out the truth. It's not certain whether he's a master or not, but there's no doubt that he has something to do with the incident of Mitsuzuri going missing.
マスターを識別する方法。服を脱がしてレジを見つけるしかないのか。
Yeah, it's at that point you basically have nothing. Well, I'm sure no master is going to allow me to do that, but to be fair, who master or not, who's actually going to allow you to do that? Maybe Sakura?
そろそろか。遠坂ならいい方法を知ってるかもな。
I stand from my desk. We already planned on meeting in the hall after school. Sounds like a plan. I meet Tosaka and look around the whole school. According to her, there are several sigils that help set the bounded field throughout school. Tosaka has already been erasing them for the past few days, but it seems that new sigils are created or keep coming back up, preventing her from completely eliminating the bounded field.
結界自体はもう貼られちゃってるから、私がやってることは効力を弱めているだけよ。それでもやらないよりはマシだし、不完全なうちは相手だって結界を発動させないでしょ。
I mean, there's no guarantee, but weakening the efficacy is definitely a start. So she
遠
says.
坂、聞きたいことがあるんだけど、いいか。
I call out after she eliminates the sigil hidden on the rooftop.
何？まだ屋上に違和感を感じるの？
いや、それとは別件。ここにはもうおかしなところはない。俺の方はここで打ち止めだ。
No, the rooftop is sick.
そう。なら生きている地獄はほとんど消せたかな。エミヤ君、魔力感知はできないくせに場所の異常には敏感なんだもの。まさかこんなに早く校舎内の地獄を消せるとは思わなかった。
Yeah. Tosaka is in a good mood. Well, I'm glad that I was able to be of help, but I don't feel up to it right now.
なあ、遠坂。マスターってのは、マスターがわかるのか？その、サーバントは隠していても、ただいるだけで気配が変わるとか。
Interesting question.
別にそんなことはないけど。そうね。何も再考しなければ、マスターの識別はできるでしょうね。マスターはもともと魔術師がなるものだから、魔力を探っていけば魔術師は見つけられる。加えてサーバントなんていう破格の使い魔と契約してるんだから、隠したって魔力は漏れるわ。
If anything, the very nature of them being a master actually makes it harder for them to hide the fact that they are a master, or at least a mage at that.
エミヤ君は鈍感だから気がつかないけど、私だって魔力を残して歩いてる。魔術師が見たら一目で私がマスターだってわかるだろうし、私だってマスターを見れば識別できるんじゃないかな。
So obviously, because of the fact that, like, we learned this from the Fate route, but Shinji isn't like a mage really, so that might make him a lot easier to hide the fact that he is one, because otherwise Rin would have probably noticed by this point.
そうなのか。けど遠坂、俺が魔術師だって知らなかっただろ。
And I think it's a similar situation. And I think it's a similar situation with the boy, because Shirou has very, very limited magical sauce.
何？それ言っていいの？
Your shit! Tosaka's voice shifts. I have a bad feeling about this.
いい。だいたい想像ついた。今。
Yeah.
賢明ね。
Ah!
そういうことよ。魔術師じゃなくても微力な魔力を持つ人はいる。魔術師はね、一定以上の魔力を帯びたものしか魔術師って認めないの。
That's crazy. Girl hit us with the smart boy. Like that's like a good boy, like treating us like a fucking dog. I mean, we are kind of her bitch. Like, let's be completely honest here.
はいはい。そんなことだろうと思ったよ。けどそれじゃあ今の俺はどうなんだ？
それが全然変わらないのよね。まあ不完全な召喚だったっていうし、傷を治す以外はセイバーとのつながりは薄いんでしょうね。まあエミヤ君は特例だからそういうこともありでしょ。
Sure. Then Shinji isn't a master. Even if I can't tell, Tosaka can identify a master just by looking at them. And she should be able to sense the lingering magical energy if Shinji is a master who formed a contract with a servant. Yeah, so you would think, but it's more like Shinji's more like you. Actually, even, if anything, worse than you, actually.
マスター探しだなんて言うけど、その気になればすぐにでも見つけられるんじゃないか？強い魔力の残り顔をたどっていけばいいんだから。
そうでもないわよ。例えばの話、魔力を隠してしまう道具を持っていれば、 敵には悟られないもの。
So in other words, there's always exceptions to the rules.
まあサーバントのデタラメな魔力を消せる道具なんて少ないでしょうから、そんなマスターはいないと思うけど。
But that's also fair.
じゃあもし遠坂の身近にいる人間がマスターでもそんな道具を持っていたらわからないってことか。
In theory.
どうかな、ものによるけど、どんなに隠しても近くにいればわかると思う。サーバントと契約している以上、どうしても世界との摩擦は起きるから。
I love the way that's described. As long as they've formed a contract with the servant, friction with the world will occur. Like, it's such a... Like, servants are so fucking crazy that, like, it literally is, like, almost, like, at odds with the very, like, natural order.
身近にいてもマスターかどうかわからないってことは、そのマスターはサーバントを使っていないってことよ。
Which goes back to what I was saying. Like that goes back to just how much of a miracle the Holy Grail is. And while, regardless of its validity as a Holy Grail, it is the Holy Grail because of the miracles it produces. And I love the way they, like, tackle that concept in this series.
まあ例外はあるかもしれないけど、9割方はそう考えて間違いないと思うわ。
We go back to the classroom. There weren't any clues we could find out about other masters, but Tosaka seemed satisfied that we were able to erase most of the sigils. She said something like, the enemy won't be able to stand having their plans messed with so blatantly, so it won't be long before they give themselves away.
気が長いな。近いうちって言ってもどのくらい先かわからないだろう。
We'll see where it goes.
そう、こんな結界を張るやつだもの。邪魔されて我慢できる性格じゃないわ。私の見立てでは明日よ。
It's certainly a possibility.
二度目は黙ってられない性格でしょ、こいつ。
I mean, you're making a lot of assumptions, but given it's Rin, I'm inclined to agree with her assessment.
そんなもんなのか。
And she understands mages a lot better than Shirou does as well.
そんなもんよ。さて、私は用事があるから先に帰るわ。明日の決戦に備えていろいろ買わなくちゃいけないし。
I love how she's just assuming we're gonna have a battle tomorrow.
それじゃあまた明日。それと、今日は早めに帰りなさい。寄り道なんてしたらダメだからね。
Sounds like a plan to me.
なんだ、心配してくれるんだ、遠坂。
I mean, she should.
違うわよ。協力関係になったんだから、勝手に脱落されちゃ予定が狂うじゃない。今のはそれだけのちょっとした確認事項。
She got very embarrassed and defensive, though, which is absolutely fucking adorable. She's babbling, but that contrast with how she normally is just tells me how flustered she is. Yeah, I think I'm starting to really get a beat on her. Good.
ともかく、エミヤ君は無防備すぎるんだから、あんまり軽率な行動はしないこと。私は例外で、他の連中は即命を奪いに来るんだからね。
Yeah, she's not wrong about that, to be fair. Tosaka looks away and tries to leave. Seeing her leave, I suddenly...
遠坂、今もアーチャーはそばにいるのか。
I ask something meaningless.
いるけど何？あいつに話でもあるの？
いや、別に。遠坂はうまくやってるのかなと思って。
Interesting. Tosaka looks back at me in wonder at my sudden question. Then...
はは、そういうこと。
Oh?
ええ、心配無用よ。あいつひねくれてるけどいいやつだもの。ああ見えても子供っぽいし、付き合っていく分には楽しいわ。
It's so good because you know that, like, Archer's listening in on the conversation as she calls him a misanthrope. Like, that's hilarious. Snickering, Tosaka disappears down the stairs. Love it. Alright, well, this day's going by pretty quick so far. I'm still not over what happened to Mitsuzuri, leading me to the archery range. God damn it, bro. Just, god damn it. You never listen to Tosaka when you should be. Always should be listening to Tosaka. It's set off from the other school buildings and looks empty. Club activities are over, so I don't think I'll find anybody here.
帰るか。
Okay. I turn around and head to the gate. Beyond that, on the way to the exit, Shinji, yep. Mato Shinji stands there as if to block my way.
いや、今頃お帰りかい？最近は物騒だから、生徒は速やかに下校するんじゃなかったっけ？
Well, it's extra awkward with you saying that. I don't have the confidence to stay calm facing Shinji here, so I try to ignore him and walk past.
友人に挨拶もできないぐらい疲れてるわけか。まったく。忠告潰しなんて地味なことしてるからそうなるんだよ。
Wow, he's just being so open about it. Interesting. Well, this is gonna get real tense real fast. He sounds like he's grinning. Nani? Hearing that, I immediately jump back and brace myself.
忠告潰し。そんなことを言えるってことは、お前。
Yeah. I keep myself on alert and glare at Shinji.
ああ、そういうこと。お前がしらみつぶしにしてくれた結界はさ、僕が仕掛けた保険なんだぜ。
There it is.
それをあんな風に消されちゃ、こっちは怖くて学校に来れなくなるじゃないか。
I see. So this is how naive I am. When I saw him in the woods, I knew he was a master, but didn't try to confirm it because I wasn't prepared for the truth. Yeah.
待てって。そう構えないでよ、エミヤ。うるさい遠坂もいなくなったし、男同士ゆっくり話し合おうじゃない？知っての通り、喧嘩は嫌いなんだよ、僕は。
Like men. That's very ironic. Trust me, Tosaka's balls are like 10 times bigger than yours. And don't even get me started on her dick.
話し合う？俺とやり合う気はないっていうのか。
そんなのあるもんか。見たところ、エミヤもマスターなんてものに無理やりさせられたんだろ？
Yeah, your situations are relatively similar in that
僕も
regard.
それと同じでね。魔術師でもなければ戦う気もないっていうのにマスターにさせられたんだ。
Sure, bro.
で、目下のところ誰とも戦わないで済む方法を探してる最中ってわけ。だからここでエ
Really?
ミヤと争う気なんてないんだ。
Even despite the events of yesterday?
そうかよ。じゃああの結界は何だ？あんなものを仕掛けておいて戦う気はないっていうのか。
Well, he was basically saying that's his insurance policy, essentially.
バカだな。あれは欲しいんだよ。学校には遠坂っていう根っからの魔術師がいるだろ。あいつはマスター同士の戦いに躊躇なんてしない。となると、魔術師じゃないマスターとしては防護策を持っておかないとやっていけないじゃないか。あの結界はそれだけのものだよ。誰かに襲われない限り発動させることはない。
Yeah, sure. I mean, even if he's telling the truth, like, it's hard to trust him. His story makes sense. I still don't know the details behind whether Shinji really is a master or not, or how he got to this point. But for now, I'll buy it. If Shinji says so, I should give him the benefit of the doubt, Jesus Christ. But before that...
シンジ、昨日女生徒を襲ったのはお前か？
Yeah, there's that. I need to solve this problem.
昨日のことか。あれは仕方がなかったんだ。
It's crazy he just admits it, too.
僕のサーバントはじゃじゃ馬でね。放っておくと人を襲う。
And that's how you're gonna frame it, huh?
僕はマスターに選ばれただけの人間だ。遠坂みたいな本業じゃないんだから、言いつけを聞かせることも大変なんだよ。
You seemed pretty, unapologetic about it, though, earlier.
じゃあ昨日の件はあくまで事故なんだな。お前のサーバントが勝手にやったことだと。
So that's the angle he's going, huh?
ああ、これからは気をつけるよ。僕も自分の住処で事件なんて起こしたくない。あいつには僕を守ることだけ徹底させるさ。
You are full of so much shit, Shinji, it's insane.
それは本当だな、シンジ。
ああ、嘘を言ってもしょうがないだろ。隠しておくこともできたのに、こうしてわざわざ告白してやったんだ。
Because he's taking a calculated risk based on your ridiculous personality, Shirou. Because you are someone who looks at things in a very specific way and, you know, someone like Tosaka would never buy this, but someone like Shirou would want to desperately believe that Shinji is not as bad of a person as he actually is.
エミヤ、僕のことを疑ってただろう。むやみに襲われたら行き着くところまで行くしかなくなるからさ、先にこうやって正体を明かしたんだ。僕は誰とも戦いたくはないからね。
That one's tricky because I don't fully believe that that's false. It's complicated. I can't take what he says at full value, but if he really does want to avoid fighting, everything would work out.
分かった、信じる。お前が何もしないんなら俺も手は出さない。それでいいんだな、シンジ。
Seems fair, at least for the time being, but obviously can't really trust him as far as you can throw him.
いいね。エミヤにしては物分かりがいい。けどそれじゃあ困るんだ。こうやって話し合いに来たことをもう少し理解してくれないかな。
Bro want an alliance? Shinji holds out his hand as if he wants to shake hands, so that means...
僕に協力しないかエミヤ。お前は知らないだろうけど、もともとマトウの家は魔術師の家系なんだ。まあ、父の代で魔道は耐えていたけど、知識だけはまだ残っている。どうかな？素人のくせにマスターになった君にとっては頼りになる存在だろ？
The Mato line is a family of mages? Tosaka didn't say such a thing. No, she must have excluded him as an outsider if the blood died out, just as Shinji said.
どう？遠坂に頼らなくても、僕たちが手を組めば、聖杯戦争ぐらい生き残れる。
Are they actually going to give us a choice here?
もないと思うけど。
He holds out his hand. His proposal isn't wrong. It makes sense, and it's an option. However...
シンジ、お前がマスターだってことをサクラは知ってるのか？
はあ？なんだ。本当に素人なんだな。
Oh yeah, the way it works in the mage family. Yep, yep.
魔術師の家系は長男にしか秘技を伝えないんだ。長男以外の子供なんてただの予備に過ぎない。
That's such a crazy quote.
そんなのに魔術を伝える意味はないし、手間も惜しいんだよ。
That's crazy.
たく、あんなとろい女に魔道を伝えるもんか。魔道の秘技を継いだのは僕だけだ。
I'm so curious what they're gonna do with Sakura in this series. Like I said, at this point, I'm under the assumption that she had... Oh, but again, by process of elimination, she has to be a huge focus of Heaven's Feel. Unless she's going to be a huge focus of this, but it is seeming... like I said, I am assuming this is Rin and Archer time. I'm so curious to learn more about Sakura and like what they're going to do with her. I see. That's really good. Sakura isn't someone who should be involved in all of this. She was basically not involved at all in the Fate route, and my gut instinct, honestly, I'm not expecting that to be much different in this one either, to be perfectly honest. I need her to be smiling happily in life.
Shinji, お前が何もしないんなら、俺もお前には何もしない。それで文句はないだろう。
そう。協力はできないってこと？
I do love how they frame that, and they don't even give us a choice. It's actually funny.
する必要なんかないだろう。お互い戦わないんなら協力するもしないもない。
That's an interesting counterpoint.
自分の身を守りたいだけなら、聖杯戦争が終わるまで教会に保護してもらえばいい。それぐらいのことは知ってるんだろ
う。へえ。なんだよエミヤ。君。もしかしてこの殺し合いに勝とうだなんて思ってるの？
I don't intend to die, nor do I want to murder anyone. But I'll fight anyone who attacks me, and I can't just ignore those who will try to bring disaster to our town. And Saber. Yep.
ただ俺は聖杯ってやつの正体を見極めなくちゃいけない。そのためには最後まで残るしかないだろう。
Yeah, in theory that is the idea, yeah. I turn away from Shinji.
そうかい。あくまで戦うつもりか。
Again, in theory, yes.
まあ、僕には関係のないことだけど、それならさくらを巻き込むような真似はしないよな、エミヤ。
そんなの当たり前だ。 お前こそ桜には隠し通すんだろうな。
Interesting agreement that these two are making.
もちろん。けど兄貴としてさ、これから殺し合いを続けるってやつの家に妹は置いておけない。
Interesting.
お前が戦うって言うんなら、聖杯戦争が終わるまで桜は家から出さない。
I mean, that seems
それでいいよな、エミヤ。
that seems fair, but that is a little that's an interesting that is an interesting not revelation necessarily, but like progression. That's an interesting turn of events. He does have a point. As long as I'm fighting alongside Saber, the Emiya household is also dangerous.
分かった。桜には俺の方から言っておく。それでいいな、シンジ。
Mm.
オーケー。後輩思いの先輩で助かった。
Wow.
正直、お前がいつ桜を人質にするかヒヤヒヤしてたからね。
Oh my god, yeah, he's not that type of
これ
guy.
で当面の悩み事は解消されたよ。
And my gut instinct is that you wouldn't care nearly enough.
話はこれで終わりだな。なら帰るぞ。
Mm.
ああ、ご自由に。けど分かってるよな、イミヤ。ここで話したことは僕たちだけの秘密だぜ。
Sure.
こっちはエミヤを友人と見込んで秘密を打ち明けたんだ。それを人に話すようなことになったら、
As much
僕だって何をするかわからない。
as much of a dickhead as Shinji is, I think that is in fact fair. That must mean that he'll activate the bounded field if I tell Tosaka about him.
ああ、黙ってる。けど、遠坂が自分で見つける分には別だぞ。俺は遠坂にできる限り協力する。あいつがお前の正体を知ったら戦うことを止めない。そういうわけだから、見つけられたくなかったらおとなしくしてるんだな。
That's good advice. I walked to the front gate for real this time. The school building in the sunset. Shinji sees me off without a word. Interesting, we got new servant data. Is it gonna be writer related? Master Shinji Mato, that's gotta be what it was. Clairvoyant C, that's kind of cool. That the shot that we have for it. Yep. It's kind of cool because it is, like I said, these do look, it is cool because like the aesthetics are all different than they were in, I mean, you know, like there's just different stuff going on here in the, compared to the what's it called? Compared to the first game, or not the first game. Compared to the obviously we had the original game or the Rialta Nua version of the game, and we were playing you know, our scuffed sides here. So obviously with the remaster, like all this stuff kind of looks cool and stuff, and a bit different and stuff. This is believed to be the magical sword owned by the Irish hero Fergus, but just as the 2 in the name suggest, Archer has enhanced it in ways that makes it different from its namesake. Kalad Bolg is the noble phantasm said to be the nemesis of Chu Chulain, another great Celtic hero. Due to the oath, Gios, that Chu Chulain cast on himself, he is fated to lose at least once to this sword if its wielder has ties to Ulster. Interesting. Very interesting. And then obviously this is the Berserker weapon. I don't think I ever looked at the weapons page that much, honestly. There are only 2 sets of shoes at the entrance. Fuji-nee's heels and Saber's loafers. I'm worried, so I go to the living room without announcing that I'm home. Briskly, I make my way down the hall. As expected, Sakura isn't in the living room. Instead, I spy someone that looks suspiciously like Fuji-nee doing something that might be cooking in the kitchen.
あ、おかえりしろ。ん？何驚いた顔しちゃって。
Yeah, you don't cook.
なんかあったの？
Yeah, a miracle. She puts down what appears to be flour. If I didn't know any better, it looks like she looks like she's been mixing something.
いや、驚いてるって言えば驚いた。
Surprised might be an understatement. Shocked is probably a better term for this.
その、いつもと何もかも違うか。
Yeah, it's like he came back in topsy-turvy world. I mean, this day is called, I keep saying episode. I mean, I guess you could be considered an episode, but this day is called Faker after all. Actually, I don't remember how many years it's been since I last saw Fuji-nee doing something like cooking.
いつもと違う？あ、そっか。さくらちゃんのことね。
I mean, that's one of the things.
さくらちゃんなら帰ったわよ。お家の人から電話があって呼び戻されちゃった。
Oh, I guess Shinji already took care of Sakura.
そうか。Shinjiのやつ、直接電話してきたのか。
Fair enough. He didn't need to worry, but I guess he wanted to take care of it as soon as possible.
シンジ君？まあいっか。
After tilting her head as if she's not satisfied, she goes back to what she was doing. It bothers me a bit. It's not completely dark yet, so... I'll stop Fuji-nee's wrongdoing before the sun sets at dinner time. I'll go see how Sakura's doing before the sun sets and it's dinner time. I go tell Saber that I'm home before the sun sets and it's dinner time. This feels fun. This seems like a bad idea, but could be an interesting interaction. This feels the most mundane. Yeah, let's stop Fuji-nee's wrongdoing. I have to find out what Fuji-nee's up to. In the name of a peaceful dinner and for Saber, who is looking forward to her meal. Yes, this is gonna be fun.
ちょっと失礼。なんだ、お好み焼きか。Fuji-nee、小腹でも減ったのか？
I'm not gonna lie, I don't have the slightest clue what okonomiyaki is.
違うよ。さくらちゃんによろしくされちゃったし、今晩は私が食事当番。ちゃんと3人分作るから、シローはセーバーちゃん起こしてきて。
Wow, I'm surprised. I don't know about her choice of food, but Fuji-nee's acting like an adult woman, huh?
そうだよな。もういい年なんだから、それぐらいできなくちゃ。あれ、Fuji-nee、なんで飯なんて炊いてるんだ？お好み焼きならご飯いらないだろう。
Again, it would be very helpful if I actually knew what okonomiyaki is. Usually, I'm pretty familiar with Japanese food. Actually eat, you know, I fucking love a lot of Japanese food. But, and I have a Japanese restaurant that's really good. That's like literally like 5 steps from where I live practically. It is like right on my doorstep basically. And it's really nice. But, what the fuck? I actually have no idea what okonomiyaki is. I'm gonna figure out in this episode, obviously, but...
いるよ。今夜はカニ玉にするんだから、ご飯がないとただの卵焼きになっちゃうじゃない。
Crab egg fuyang. It'll be a plain omelet if there's no rice. To punctuate this, she cracks an egg. The egg drops into the flour she's been mixing. Wow, I'm surprised. It seems like egg fuyang and okonomiyaki are the same in Fuji-nee's head.
Fuji-nee、あと数分もしたら間違いに気づくだろうけど、勇気を持って言うぞ。
Oh my god, yeah.
何よ。いいわ。聞いてあげるから。
I mean,
どうか教えてください。
she's being surprisingly reasonable right now, though, to be fair. She must have thought that something's wrong as well. Fuji-nee puts on a strong front, but looks to me.
それはカニ玉ではない。世にも恐ろしいお好み焼き丼になるだけだから、やり直そう。
Yes, Shirou, Master Chef, teach me how to make okonomiyaki. I have to do everything I can.
お好み焼きを乗っけるのも 卵焼きを乗っけるのも似たようなものじゃないのですか、国長。
There's no shot she called him head chef right after I called him. I don't know. Did I call him head chef? I might have called him master chef. I don't know if I called him head chef or not, but that's way too close, whether I did or not.
違う。そもそも俺はコック長ではない。このままだとセイバーに間違った日本料理を学習させることになるんでやり直そう。
I mean, to be fair, Saber's already familiar with Japanese food, but still, you want to give her good Japanese food. I take away the bowl from Fuji-nee.
ダメよ、せっかくかき混ぜたのにもったいない。
Girl, just go.
却下。後でおやつにするからこれは冷蔵庫行き。
Yeah, bro will find a way not to waste it, but
フジネは卵を5つほど割って卵白が切れるまで混ぜること。お、カニもタケノコも用意できてるんだ。ならこっちはあんを作ってるから焼きは任せる。
crab, egg, bamboo shoots? You have me curious. Interesting.
大丈夫。煙が出るまで鍋を空焼きしとけばフジネでもできるから。
Wow. Well, now that that's decided, I'll need potato starch, ginger, vinegar, soy sauce, sugar, chicken bones, and what in the world?
なんだよ。卵だって卵。
I mean, it does sound like it would make a good combo, but
塩を入れて菜箸でボウル全体を使うんだからな。
sure. That all tracks. I don't know if she's listening to me or not, but Fuji-nee looks at me as if she wants to say something. Then
シロ、台所だと威厳があるよね。
interesting. That's a very Japanese thing to say. I feel like you never hear that said in I was gonna say America, but honestly, that's very like Eastern. It's not Western at all. It's very Japanese, but I could see that being like maybe like in Korean or Chinese or something, maybe like a term like that as well. It's just a very like Eastern. That is just, it's hard for me to describe it, but that's a very Eastern world coded thing to say. And I don't know if you guys will necessarily agree with me on that, but that's just not, you have real dignity when you're in the kitchen, just sounds very not Western, for lack of a better way to put it. And I don't know if you guys will feel the same way about that, but I don't know, that just kind of caught my eye, like, oh, that feels like a very Japanese thing to say. She says as she opens the refrigerator. Well, I'm glad to hear that, but is it a good thing that's only in the kitchen? Nice, nice, I love that. That's actually pretty funny. After dinner, I finished cleaning up and faced Saber in the dojo. That was a very fun interaction. I tell her what happened today and how we eliminated the bounded field at school and how Tosaka anticipates that there'll be a counterattack tomorrow. I don't tell her about Shinji. I don't want her to consider him an enemy until his true intentions are clear.
それでは今夜も外に出ることはないのですか、シロ。
なあ、セイバーには歯がゆいだろうけど、今はそれで我慢してくれ。むやみに戦う気はないし、何よりめったやたらに戦えるほど余裕がある状況じゃないだろう。
I think that's something though that Saber can understand here. I'm inexperienced as a master, and Saber has a limit to how many times she can battle since I'm not able to provide her with any magical energy. Given our situation, it's not a good idea to be aimlessly looking around for masters.
わかりました。確かにシロの言い分には一理あります。積極的ではありませんが、勝利するためには細心の注意も必要ですから。
And she understands that that's the appropriate course of action here.
ですが、戦う意志があるというのなら、無駄な時間は使えません。今夜はここに留まるというのであれば、その時間を鍛錬に使うべきです。
That sounds like a plan to me. Saber stares at me. She doesn't even need to tell me. I brought Saber to this dojo with that in mind.
わかってる。セイバー、昨日のことを覚えてるか？俺が夜遅く帰ってきたら、たるんでるってことで手合わせしただろ？いや、
Oops.
いえ、あれはタイガがですね。それぐらいしないとシロは忠告を聞いてくれないと教えてくれたからだって。別に私の気が立っていたからではなく。
I love how she is how embarrassed she is about that. That's absolutely adorable and hilarious.
いや、別にいいってば。昨日の手合わせはいい教訓になったんだから。
Yeah, people aren't gonna go easy on you like that, and so it makes sense for Saber not necessarily to go easy on him in their training sessions.
勝てない奴には何をやっても勝てない。
Yeah, that's a good way. That's a simple
そんな初
thing
歩的
there.
なこと、セイバーと向き合うまで気づかなかった。
Of course.
そういった心構えの意味も含めて、セイバーと手合わせするのは大切だと思う。どのくらい効果があるかわからないけど、セイバーがその気になって相手をしてくれれば、俺も少しは生き延びることができるだろう。
That makes a lot of sense to me.
ではシロ、
ああ、これからは時間に余裕がある限り鍛えてくれ。
Hmm.
差し当たってはこれから寝るまで。
Sounds like fun. I would recommend to get a shower in before you go to sleep, though, bro. I take the bamboo sword on the wall. It's still 8 p.m. There's still 4 hours until bedtime, so I'll train my heart out. Bro doesn't really sleep that much. Because, I mean, he goes to sleep at midnight, and then he's getting up, you know, at 5 to probably 5 on the early end, 6 on the late end. I get it hurts, but you were literally asking for her not to go easy on you. I crawl into bed. She's like, oh, I still wish she cared about me a little bit. My body is covered in bruises and pain relief patches, and I'm sure it'll all be sore tomorrow. Really, that's an understatement. After training with Saber, I did my daily strengthening routine, so I'm tired both mentally and physically. Saber and Fuji-nee are sleeping in a room nearby, but I don't even care right now. I'm just exhausted. I'll sleep for now and prepare for tomorrow. Alright, it looks like we are going to do multiple days in this video, because that was a short day, so... Come. What the fuck is this? Am I dreaming, or am I coming? I must have dozed off. My body's asleep and I can't even lift a finger. Then this has to be a dream. What the hell? It's a dark night. There's a weird ringing in my ears. My legs are still asleep, but I'm walking down a hill. What in the world? Come. It's cold. The wind is stabbing my cheeks. I must still be in my pajamas as the rest of my body is ice cold. This is unusual for Fuyuki. It feels so cold that I ought to wake from the discomfort if this were a dream. Come. I like how it's centered in different parts of the screen, too. Very interesting. I walked through the empty town. The ringing in my ears doesn't stop. Yeah, it's really interesting lighting, too. Ignoring my shivering body, my feet are moving towards somewhere. I try to scream, but I notice that my throat is frozen. This isn't a dream. This can't be a dream. But I still feel like I'm asleep. My limbs, they aren't following my orders, and they are walking as if manipulated by something. Perhaps a caster? Come. This is like a spell of some kind. Yeah, that's where I figured we were heading. Yep, to the shrine. This must be the final destination. My feet move faster as they climb up the stone steps. Come on now. Come here, boy. Oh, that's kind of kinky. I'm not gonna lie. The ring in my ears turns into a voice. No, that's wrong. The ringing hasn't changed at all. It has been repeating the same word over and over. Come here. Oh! Oh! Holy fuck. That's a voice, alright. What fills the inside of my skull is a female voice full of magical energy. I see the mountain gate. Something's on the other side. And... 'if I if I cross that gate, I won't come out alive. I don't know what it is, but my hazy mind screams for me to flee right now. Go back. Go back. Go back. Stop. You can still make it. Wake up right now and go back. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Just don't listen to all that. I'm able to wake. My hazy thoughts become clear and my will finally returns. But it's too late. My limbs still don't obey me as they go through the mountain gate. The only certain thing is my mind. My body does not listen to me and walks into Ryudou Temple, not going against the voice. The temple is covered in darkness. In the center stands something with an inhuman magical energy. Yep, there she is. That's really cool, but hey, Caster. The figure wavers like a heat haze. A dark shadow that reminds me of a grim reaper strips off the layers of darkness and... there she is. The figure turns into a magician that one would see in those old fairy tales. Very cool looking.
そこで止まりなさい、坊や。
Yep, there she is. Like I said, Potato we don't really know a lot about. Territory creation, A. An advantageous territory for oneself as a mage, possible to form a temple that exceeds a shed. Very cool. See, it's interesting, right? Because it's like, we're mages, like the masters. So a servant that's a mage is really interesting. Item construction, A. An imitation elixir of immortality is interesting. Rapid words of divine, A. Can activate magecraft without saying an incantation or connecting with magic circuits. Even great magecraft can be cast in one step, single action, because that's how, you know, because this is like weirdly like a D&D thing almost. They are words from the age of God, so modern people cannot pronounce them. That's really cool. So we got more data. We got data on her now.
それ以上近づかれると殺してしまうでしょ。
That's ironic given the fact that you were telling us to come. She sneers. It seems that my body is under her control. The feet that won't listen to me freeze at her command. My consciousness wavers. I can't move my own limbs at all despite an enemy appearing right before me. Yes, that is an enemy. There's no doubt or hesitation. That is a servant. A heroic spirit who excels most in magecraft out of the 7 servants. Yeah, this is Caster. I move my frozen throat with all my might and somehow manage to glare at my enemy.
ええ、その通りよ、坊や。ようこそ私の神殿へ。歓迎するわ、セイバーのマスターさん。
Interesting. The cool voice is mocking me at the same time. I try to pour strength into my legs, but my body doesn't move at all. Damn it, what the hell am I doing? I've been lured here, and on top of that, I can't move a muscle. I concentrate on my limbs with all of my energy. Whatever trick this is, Caster's magecraft is robbing the freedom to control my body. This is very cool, though, because Caster is a character I've definitely been looking forward to getting a lot more on Caster, because Caster was more or less an afterthought in the Fate route, really. Then if I can extract her magical energy...
自由になれると思って。かわいいこと。そんな方法で私の呪縛を解こうだなんて。随分と優しいのね、あなた。
Cute and precious. That's a crazy way to describe it. I concentrate everything I have to search throughout my body. Caster's magical energy. It's seeped into my body to take away the freedom from my limbs. I peer into my own body, but keep my eyes focused straight ahead. It's not that difficult if I stay calm. Every night I focus on finding the magical energy and circuit within me. I just have to repeat that and identify where Caster's poisoning me from. Even if I can't get it out of my body, I could focus it into one of my limbs so that I can move the other 3. That's actually a crazy idea. It's everything. It's your entire, like, circuitry. What even is this? Caster's magical energy isn't mixed within me. It's consuming all of you. The only tainting element is this one small point on my chest, yet my whole body is acting abnormally. There's nothing wrong in my flowing blood, but the blood vessels themselves are screwed up. It's like my heart is locked up. Is the red spot on my chest Caster's magical energy? My body is completely stripped of its authority with just one word of a curse. So I was cursed by Caster in my sleep? Even if I was asleep, it should be impossible for me to be captured by a magecraft that was activated so far away. Mages have a resistance. It's the power to repel magecraft effects that hypnotize, bind, or coerce. As long as one is a mage, one cannot be easily manipulated by other mages. It's a fundamental law. Mages have magic circuits. The circuits running through the body not only make magical energy, but they also have the ability to repel external magical energy. It is difficult to interfere with the bodily functions of someone who is working magic circuits, and it is hard to control even a mage several ranks below oneself. As the magic circuit repels external magical energy, the spell is destroyed before it can be completed. That's really cool. It's like antibodies. It's like magical antibodies. But obviously, in this particular case, the gap between Caster and Shirou is so extreme because, you know, Caster is obviously an incredible mage of the past, of that she's able to overwrite that. She's able to kind of compensate for that enough to be able to control us. For that reason, indirect magecraft that has those coercive or binding effects has a low success rate. Even if the target is not a mage, the magecraft can be repelled unconsciously if they have a magic circuit. In that regard, an intervention of just attacking with magical energy like Tosaka does, where you make a weapon in this world and attack after completing the spell, is the most efficient magecraft. Something that strikes physically works on other physical things, of course. Regardless of whether or not someone has a circuit, you bleed if you're cut. Yep, of course. That makes this something else entirely. I'm guessing if I were in close proximity, such a spell would work on me. If I had met Caster before somewhere and had a spell cast on me then, it follows that she could affect me from some distance. But I've never met Caster, nor do I recall having a curse cast on me. This is our first meeting. Without moving from here, Caster cast a spell all the way to my house and captured my body. The word witch pops into my head. She can control my body from more than a few kilometers away, which shouldn't be possible for both mages. But Caster can manipulate anybody in town without moving from here. That is crazy, to be honest. My spirit weakens. As the magecraft is complete, there's no way for me to dispel it. I can't do anything unless Caster releases me or I get some outside help.
理解できて？あなたを縛っているのは私の魔力ではなく、魔術そのもの。
That's insane.
一度成立した魔術は、魔力という水では洗い流せない。
Interesting. I'm wondering what she's gonna do with this, because obviously she could just kill us, but if she wanted to just kill us, she would have done so already, I imagine.
液体と固体のようなものよ。形を得たものに水をかけても、その形は崩れないでしょ。
That's an interesting metaphor. The shadow gets closer. The bluish-purple robe melting into the night is sneering. It's a really beautiful robe. And seemingly, I mean, from the tiny bit we could see, she seems like a really beautiful lady, but, yeah.
けれど例外もあるわ。例えばそうね。あなたたちが編み上げた魔術など、私にしてみれば泥の建造物に過ぎない。
Yeah, it's almost like it's almost like imposter magic, right? We talk about faker, and maybe that's where we're getting, right? Like the magic, we're almost like imposter magicians, because compared to the days of the gods that she is presumably from, our magic is so inferior to hers.
そんなもの、かける水流が多く激しければ、形になっていようと簡単に洗い流せる。
Yeah, and that's why she went with the metaphor she did, because then she could toy with it like the way she is right now.
理解できて？私とあなたたちの違いは、 そういう次元の話なのよ。
Well, that goes back to what I was saying. Like, she has to be so far above us to be able to do what she just did.
そうかよ。それでわざわざこんなところまで呼びつけたわけか。
ええ、マスターたちは皆小物だけど、その中でもあなたは飛び抜けて力不足でしたから。
The ironic thing is, I don't even think that's actually true. I mean, the first part might be true in regards to her and servants in general, but
何しろ町の人間たちと変わらない高魔力ですもの。そんなマスターを見つけたら、こうして話をしたくなるのは当然でしょ。
interesting. She snickers. Demonstratively, she's the superior here, and I'm just the prey. Yeah, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. And I don't think honestly, I don't think I mind being her prey. Dude, the female servants all have the hottest voices. What the fuck, dude? Caster versus Ryder for sexiest voice in this fucking game. I mean, I love Saber's voice, but Caster and Ryder both just, oh my god, those voices. A chill runs through me. She wants to speak to me. Yeah, right. I mean, bro, again, if she wanted to kill you, she would have done so already. I don't know what her motivations are or what her endgame in all this is, but she does genuinely seem to want to speak to you. Otherwise, she would have just killed you. No, she's just gonna kill me. She would have done so already. I doubt she would have went through all this pomp and circumstance if she was just gonna kill you. I mean, who knows? Maybe her plan is to kill you in the end, but she definitely does want to talk to you.
ほらまた誤解。安心なさい。殺してしまっては魔力を吸い上げられないわ。
Okay. Well, strain our magical energy,
この
huh?
町の人間は皆私のものですからね。殺さない程度に生かし続けて、最後の一滴まで差し出してもらわないと。
Interesting. Her laughter echoes in my ears. I feel as though a missing piece fits inside my head. Did she just say that she's going to drain the magical energy from everyone in this town? That's actually kind of crazy.
キャスター、お前、無関係な人間に手を出したな。
Not just involving innocent people, but a crazy amount of innocent people.
あら、知らなかったの？あの小娘と手を組んだのだから、当然知っているものと思っていたけど。そう。
I assume she's talking about Tosaka, but it could also be Saber.
まだ知らなかったのね、あなた。
Caster's lips curl into a delighted smile, as if she's thinking about how she will cook the prey that she's caught. Love it. Oh.
なら教えてあげる。私、キャスターのサーバントには陣地を作る権利があるのよ。
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like I said, it's better than a shed. As if we actually already read about that, ironically enough.
魔術師は工房を持つものでしょ？それと同じよ。
But like the next level of that.
私はこの場所に神殿を作って、あなたたちから身を守る。幸いこの土地はサーバントにとって鬼門ですからね。陣地としては優れているし、何より魔力を集めやすい。
So it's really just the ideal situation for you in pretty much every sense.
初めはあまりにもあなたたちの魔力が少なくて加減がつかなかったけれど、今は程よく集められるわ。
Interesting.
ほら見えるでしょ？この土地に溜まった数百人分の魔力の貯蔵。有象無象の人のかけらが。
じゃあ、町で起きてる事件はお前が。
ええ、ここは私の神殿だと言ったでしょ？
Yeah, the irony is that it's literally a temple that you've taken as your temple.
なら供物を捧げるのは下界でうごめく人間たちの使命ではなくて？
Yeah, of course, that's how you want to frame it there, girl. The unknown coma incident's happening in this town, yep. I didn't think it was that many, but she said hundreds of people. If I look closely, in the swirl of magical energy in this temple, it looks as if it's made up of 1,000 souls. That's crazy. I put strength into my limbs, But there is no change, and Castor just stands there mocking me.
さあ、それでは話を済ませてしまいましょうか。
Oh?
あなたもずっとそうしているのは退屈でしょ?
A voice whispers in my ear. At the same time, the enemy that I couldn't see until now fills my vision.
セイバーのマスター。あなたからはそのレイジをもらってあげるわ。
Fair enough. Get a little bit more of her outfit here. This is... I don't think we've seen this pose before.
セイバーは消すには惜しいサーバントですもの。
Interesting.
彼女にはあの目障りなバーサーカーを倒してもらうとしましょう。
Interesting. I guess. I don't know how that would work, but even though she is a servant, she is a mage. So, like, in theory, could she become like a master servant? Like a servant master? Yeah, interesting. Castor raises her arm. A finger inches forward toward my arm. Is that possible? I think Tosaka said that you need to pull out the nerves in order to take command spells.
そうよ。まずはその皮を
Ah,
剥いで
okay. She's gonna transplant them to
そ
her
れからレ
master.
イジを私のマスターに移植する。
That makes more sense.
けれどレイジは所有者の魔術回路と一体化しているでしょ。レイジを剥奪するということはあなたから神経を引き抜くということでもあるわ。
That's horrifying. Casually, Castor speaks of something horrifying as if it were small talk. Man, I'm right and sick with you here, Shirou. Pull out my nerves? So she's gonna rip out the nerves in my body? Yeah, that's so horrifying. It'd almost be better if you just killed him. She does that all...
ええ、正常ではいられなくなるでしょうね。けれど安心なさい。命まで取りはしないから。
Yeah, if anything, it's almost like a cruelty. I desperately put strength into my limbs to the point that they might get dismembered, but nothing changes. My limbs don't move, and I'm like a prisoner about to be executed. A bewitching sneer. Oh, the art's awesome. She looks so fire. The fingers that glow ominously slowly reach out for my left hand like a crawling spider. Okay, who's gonna make the save here? Yep, interlude. Yep. Is it gonna be Saber? Is it gonna be Rin? Is it gonna be Rin and Archer? Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be Saber. How long has it taken for her to notice something is wrong? She wakes from a strange premonition of a spider's web. Okay, so we just played into it there, where the spider analogy twice. I wonder if there's a spider correlation with Castor. And makes her way to the hallway.
Shirou.
At first, she thinks that it might be coming from her master. The abnormality came from Emi Yashiro's room before snaking outside.
まったく。まだ魔術の鍛錬をしているのですか。
Saber sighs, her golden hair swaying. It's good that he's enthusiastic, but his body won't last unless he rests. When she decides to go warn him, she realizes her own mistake. Oh, that's cool. The little, like, effect of the text box thing there. This interlude text box thing going. She confirms her suspicions and gasps. The abnormality isn't coming from Shirou's room. Under the moonlight, a string, thin as her hair, runs through the darkness. The single string goes into Shirou's room from outside the house. It's so thin that even the bounded field here didn't catch wind of it. That's how good Castor is at magic. Magecraft. There's no time. She transforms into an armored knight and swiftly heads out. Her feet run through the quiet streets. Nothing will stop her. She knows where she must go. She only has to follow the string, the pulse of her master. Oh, this OSC is so good too. All she can do is run as fast as she can. Makes no difference whether her destination is her enemy's territory, nor how many death traps await her. She has sworn to protect her master. Anything that might come is negligible. A mountain contaminated with an abundance of magical energy. Ghosts fly around in the sky like crows, and the leaves in the trees are covered in unseen blood. Within the collected magical energy reside these stripped down souls, and the stark mountainside will consume those that approach. If there is a place in this world where death is assured, this is unmistakably the perfect example. That is so fucking cool. She enters without hesitation. Such things will not stop her. Dude, when it's third person, I feel like it's so much more dramatic. The interludes are crazy in this game. If this place is hell, then she has to save her master all the more. She runs up the stone stairs. The expected traps and obstacles do not manifest. The mountain gate is already in her sight, and she should reach it with one more step of her magical energy-infused legs. But her advance ends. No, it is halted by an enemy. And there he is! There's Assassin! Atop a staircase landing, beneath the eaves of the mountain gate, there stands one servant. His name is Sasaki Kojiro. The assassin-class servant, the protector of Ryudou Temple, wields the long sword Monohoshizou. And yeah, the game just being very upfront about Kojiro. Kojiro Sasaki, there he is. Her mind in unrest, Saber readies invisible air. Her master is on the other side of the mountain gate, but the identity of the servant that stands before her is too much of an unknown. The way he revealed his identity with no hesitation, he does not take a stance, and his hostility seems transparent, pure. She cannot grasp his strength from such a transparent offering. She can see his power as a servant. Assassin is not powerful, so it ought to be easy to maneuver and defeat him, but her instincts tell her otherwise. They tell her that in a duel she will not best him.
貴様に用はない。そこをどけ、アサシン。
Saber clamps down on her anxiety and glares at Assassin. There's only one step until she can strike the opponent. I like how this is like similar to an event in Fate, but like different, because like the context is really different. But we're having like this interesting like Assassin Saber meeting dynamic that's kind of similar to Fate, the Fate route, but the context is way different. To move up or down, the moment one of them makes a move, the other will strike with a killing blow.
聞こえなかったのか。どけと言ったのだ、アサシン。
Her final warning. The longsword-wielding swordsman accepts with grace and poise.
そうか。この門を通りたいのだな、セイバー。
Her green eyes would but pierce his body for such a foolish question. He must like her reaction. The longsword weaves through the night in an arc.
ならば押し通れ。急がねば、お前の主人とやらの命はないぞ。
That's a threat, all right. He laughs with the same cool, collected tone.
アサシン。
Saber steps up in reply. The longsword swiftly strikes, and Saber's invisible blade intercedes. Also, I like how I was talking about how it looked like this first day was going to be really short. He goes to sleep. It's like, no, we got plenty more to go. The sounds of the clashing swords echo through the breezy mountaintop. Their skill seems equal, but she has no advantage. Frustration builds, yeah, the enemy that she must defeat quickly is actually skilled and a great hindrance.
シロ、どうか。
And there's that face. She grits her teeth and prays with all her might. In that moment, excessive thoughts beyond the duel seep into her skull. The battle does not end. The mountain gate is too far away. Is that gonna be end of interlude? Oh, that's crazy. So what the hell is going to happen here? Because now we're going to go back to Shirou and Caster. Caster extends her fingers. I try to fight back, but my body won't move. My limbs aren't responding. My senses are being taken away, and I'm sure she's going to off me.
さよなら坊や。悔やむのなら、その程度の力量でマスターになったことを悔やみなさい。
That's a crazy comment. My body doesn't move at all and accepts the fingertip of death. I resist the urge to close my eyes and keep glaring at Caster with all my might.
あら、いい子ね。そういう頑張りは嫌いではありませんよ。
Wow. Caster snickers at my utmost resistance and puts her fingers on my command spells. Even my free will is going numb. That's a crazy comment. In my fading thoughts, I hear the sound of clashing swords from the temple gate behind me. Okay, what's gonna happen here? It's gonna be Archer. What kind of miracle is this? I hear the sound of dozens of objects splitting the air, followed by numerous arrows piercing the ground in front of me. Caster instantly retreats, her black robe swirling like a spinning top. There are arrows piercing the ground by her feet. 13 of them fired from the direction of the temple gate. They were probably fired in rapid succession, and Caster would have been struck center mass had there been one more in the volley. The one who fired stands there atop the gate. The knight in red then jumps down to ground level, his hands empty. Yep.
とうに命はないと思ったが、存外にしぶといのだな。
Based. I fucking love you, Archer. Jesus Christ, you and that back of yours, fuck me. I mean, that's not really what I meant to say, but that too. Archer moves to stand before me as if to protect me. Now give me some badass music for him. Come on, hit the music.
何？ただの通りがかりだ。あまり気にするな。
Really?
で、体はどうだ？キャスターの意図なら、今ので立ったはずだが。
I check my hand. It moves. My frozen limbs must have regained mobility from that earlier action. Sick.
動く。キャスターの呪縛は解けた。けど、
それは結構。あとは好きにしろ。と言いたいところだが、あれに殺されたくなければ、しばらくそこから動かぬことだ。
Yeah, that's fair.
あまり考え
Wow.
アーチャーですって？アサシンめ何をしていたの？
Well, yeah, our assassin has to deal with Saber.
そうだ。見ての通り、八つ当たりを食らうことになる。女の劇場というのは、
based.
少しばかり手荒いことになりそうだ。
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I love it. Oh, that's such a thing for, of all people, Archer to say. That's so good. Archer laughs. I can't tell how serious he is. And on top of it being Archer, just in general, he also has to deal with Tosaka. It's so good on so many levels.
さて、そう怒るな、キャスター。
Interesting. So we're potentially getting Assassin versus Saber and Caster versus Archer here. Very interesting.
アサシンならば、セイバーと対峙している。あの侍、何者かは知らんが、セイバーを押しとどめるとは大した剣豪だ。
Yep.
むしろ褒めてやるべきではないか。
Even though he's facing an enemy, there's no tension in his voice or body language at all. Caster must have noticed that and regains her composure.
ふざけたことを。あなたを止められないようでは英雄などとは呼べない。あの男、剣豪を名乗らせるには実力不足です。
Damn, just going straight to shitting on him, huh?
ほう、その言いぶり。アサシンが自分の仲間だとでも言いたげだが、やはり協力し合っているのか、君たちのマスターは。
Very interesting combo.
そうでなくてはこの状況に説明がつかん。一つの場所に 二人のサーバントが今日構えるなどとな。
We got alliances all over the place in this, around here. Caster stares at Archer silently. I can't see her expression well beneath her hood, but she looks as if she's agitated.
ああじゃあ今の本当か。アサシンとキャスターのマスターが協力し合ってるって。
Not a guarantee, but it seems that way.
ああ。門の外を守るアサシンと門の内に潜むキャスター。この両者が協力関係なのは明白だろう。
Yeah, fair enough.
マスター同士が協力し合うのも珍しいことではない。現にお前とリンとで手を結んでいる。
Yeah, it's the same situation, basically. That's right. Then there are two masters at this Ryudou temple? Potentially.
何を言い出すかと思えば随分と的外れなことを言うのね、あーちゃん。
Okay. Interesting.
なんだ違ったか。参ったな。君たちが仲間だというのは確信だったのだが。
Bro is literally trolling, and I'm so here for it. Oh my god, dude, this game is so good. Like even right now when I'm like struggling to get through this, like my body is like, please stop, and I'm like, no, we have to play Fate. But this game's so good. No, also don't feel bad. Don't worry about me. Like I'm totally fine. Like it's all good. Just you know.
見当違いも甚だしいわ。仲間ですって。私があの犬と協力し合う？私の手駒に過ぎないあの男と？
Very arrogant bitch, aren't you? I love that about you. Her laugh is so out of place that the tense atmosphere disperses, but at least there's some hype music playing. Contrarily, Archer grits his teeth. Something finally comes out. It's not Castor's enmity, nor the swirl of magical energy surrounding the temple. For the first time since he came here, Archer is showing open hostility.
そう、あなたの予感は正しいですよ、あーちゃん。
Oh?
私のマスターは誰とも手を組んでなどいないし、アサシンのマスターも同じ。
They're cooperating behind the master's backs?
いいえ、そもそもアサシンにマスターなど存在しないのですからね。
Interesting. Assassin doesn't have a master? What does that mean? Servants cannot exist without a master. Well, we already know that that's not true. We've seen there are exceptions to that as well. Weren't they supposed to disappear if they don't have a supply of magical energy?
キャスター貴様ルールを破ったな。
Is she? She's a mage, remember? And this goes back to what I was saying. She was talking about her master, but I almost wonder if she's Assassin's master in like a weird pseudo sense.
まさかルールを破ってなどいませんわ。だってサーバントを呼び出すのは魔術師でしょ。
No, that's crazy. Or does her master summon her and then she summoned the servant? What the fuck?
ならキャスターである
Yep!
私が
Yep!
サーバントを呼び出して何の不
Nah, that's insane. What the hell? No, that's actually a sick reveal. Because they did kind of like, we got teases of Assassin and Caster, but we didn't go that far into the Assassin Caster stuff in Fate. That's sick. The witch in black robes proclaims with a sneer. So that means the assassin class servant at the temple gate is a heroic spirit summoned by Caster. That is so sick.
サーバントを操るサーバントか。なるほど。ならばこその架空の英雄か。まっとうなマスターに呼び出されなかったアサシンは、本来呼ばれるべき暗殺者以外のものをアサシンにしてしまった。それは構わん。元となる英霊が誰であろうと、敵は倒すのみ。
A servant controlling a servant, huh, I see. So he's a fictitious heroic spirit. As assassin was not summoned by a proper master, something other than a proper assassin must have been called. Interesting. It's an interesting explanation there from Archer on his understanding of the situation.
だがそれは貴様の独断ではないのかキャスター。
聞きましょう。なぜそのような結論が出せるのです、アーチャー。
何？ただの直感だよ。その魔術師が自分より優れた魔術師を使い魔にした場合、そこにあるのはただの主従関係ではあるまい。
Yeah, rolling caster would be pretty awkward, given that you essentially are the masters are casters. Just obviously, in all likelihood, they're not going to be anywhere near the level of caster. So it's like, obviously the servants are way more powerful than the masters, but it's extra awkward when it's literally like a better version of you is what you roll.
マスターが自身より優れたキャスターを警戒するのは当然だ。
Like even more so than the other dynamics, it feels like.
私が貴様のマスターであるのなら魔女に自由など与えない。マスター本人ではなく貴様だけの手足となるサーバントの召喚など強化するはずがない。
That's so cool.
それなりの知恵は働くようですね。
Oh yeah, Archer's definitely pretty smart. What?
いいわ。その賢さに免じて今の暴言は聞き流しましょう。
Oh, I love that line. I will overlook your insult in lieu of your cleverness. Oh, that's such a good line. Caster snickers, though she watches Archer carefully. The only thing between them is enmity. They're about 7 meters apart. With the charge that Archer showed at school, he should be able to slash Caster before she even finishes chanting an incantation. Yeah, that's cool and all, but rapid words of divine A. I know you don't know that, bro, but yeah. She's more OP than you think.
納得がいった。セイバーやランサー、ライダーは強力な対魔力を持っている。ここの男の高魔力など比べ物にならない。次元違いの対魔力だ。彼らにはあらゆる魔術が効きづらい。故に魔術師である君では彼らに太刀打ちできない。
That is interesting, though. Yeah, she has to get creative with how she fights in this Holy Grail war, because she's very limited in what she could do against servants, or at least a lot of the servants, like Saber, Lancer, and Rider.
となれば策略に走るのは当然だったな。ルールを破り自らの手でアサシンのサーバントを呼ぶ。この土地に今日構え町の人間から魂を収集する。自らは戦わず町中に張った目で戦況を把握する。
Well, yeah, she's acting like a master, even if she is like a pseudo master servant. She's literally a middle woman.
これだけのことをするのだ。当然自分のマスターは拘束しているのだろうな。
Stuck
この間抜けなマスターのようにとっくに操り人形というわけだ。
Stuck a puppet like this dipshit master behind me is actually hysterical. She smiles silently. That sends a chill up my spine. She's not only collecting magical energy from the people in town, she's even using her own master as her own tool, just like she did to me. Caster is dangerous. Yeah, that might be an understatement. She's not a pure threat like Berserker, but those who make the situation worse without showing themselves are always the most problematic in a war. Absolutely.
ええ、あなたは正しいわ、あーちゃん。
Interesting.
けれど私があなたたちにかなわないというのは間違いない。
Yeah, don't underestimate me.
聖杯戦争に勝つことなんて簡単ですもの。
Okay.
私が手を尽くしているのは単にその後を考えているだけ。あなたたちを恐れて策を浪しているわけではないわ。
Okay.
ほう。サーバントを倒すのはたやすいと言ったね。逃げ回るだけが取り柄の魔女が。
Oh.
よく言った。
Oh, this is so awesome.
言ったわ。ここなら私は誰よりも強いもの。 バーサーカーやセイバーならいざ知らず、アーチャー程度ではかすり傷さえ負わせられないでしょう。
So at her temple, she believes she's stronger than anyone, and that only Berserker and Saber would be able to scratch her. Interesting. She's very confident.
それよりあなたの方こそ逃げる算段を立てなさい。
Damn.
一度目は許した。けれど二度目はなくてよ。
Alright.
私
Alright.
を魔女と呼んだ者には相応の罰を与えます。
Okay, so she's offended by the witch terminology. Interesting. We've leaned on the witch thing too, with like Shiro's inner dialogue as well, so I mean, makes sense. They're definitely, you know, her being a famous witch in history would not be that surprising, given she's a caster. Or someone that was considered a witch. Caster's robe distorts. The magical energy in the air becomes a dense fog covering Caster's body. It's a cool visual. We obviously saw this earlier as well. With that in front of him.
面白い。かすり傷さえ負わぬと言ったな。
Yeah, he's like, I want to take up that bet. Though he's barely audible, Archer sounds amused.
ええ。あなたでは私に触れることさえできないでしょう。
Well, let's see how this goes. I'm ready. The Black Shadow responds. The Knight in Red laughs.
では一撃だけ。それで無理なら、あとはセイバーに任せよう。
Alright. Interesting. He flies like a squall towards the Black Shadow. The Red Shadow runs. I don't know when he got them, but in Archer's hand are those weapons, twin swords. We've seen those before. He does not allow any time for chanting incantations. Archer closes in on Caster before she can extend her arm. He slashes her in half with those twin blades. There's no shot. The robe, cut in half, scatters in the wind. Archer seems disappointed, standing in front of the remains of the enemy he just defeated so easily. No way it's that easy. It looked disappointing. She talked so big, yet she lost without even attacking him once. Anyone would feel let down. Archer is still gripping the twin swords. A red knight. The black and white short swords are magnificent to behold. Yeah, we've seen them before. Strange. My eye really keeps getting drawn to them. Yep. Those twin swords. Yeah, what data do we get on the twin swords, actually? Kansho and Bakuya. Archer's preferred twin swords. Their rank as a noble phantasm is C-. They are married swords with a strong bond said to return them to their owner no matter what, even if they are lost due to some kind of trouble. Kansho and Bakuya perform well as swords, but they are also useful as magical or ritual weapons. When equipped together, their resistance to both magical and physical attacks improves. There is also a warning against evil engraved on the blades, perhaps reflecting Archer's personal taste. Crane wings ever intact. Climb Taishan with spirit and skill. Cross the Yellow River with spirit and skill. Dedicate a name to heaven. Let two great men share a life. And that's Kansho and Bakuya. So they are Chinese swords. Talking about the Yellow River. I don't know what Taishan is, but I assume that's like a famous mountain, presumably in China. Dedicate a name to heaven, huh? Let two great men share a life, and they're twin swords. Interesting. I obviously I don't know the context of that, but it's interesting nonetheless. I don't think the fact that the swords are Chinese necessarily give us that much of a hint on Archer, because Archer is just such a weird case based on everything we've seen. They must be great swords with history, but I don't feel any malice from them. Noble phantasms are supposed to be fantastic weapons, so it only makes sense that they're beautifully crafted. If Saber's sword was visible, I have to imagine it'd likewise be majestic. Oh, trust me, it is. These swords, however, are different. A sword with the clear purpose of defeating opponents. A sword that was made to leave a mark on history. A sword forged to surpass the skill and craft of another. A sword intended to do some great deed. These blades have none of that. They're nothing like a blade with a famed story or magical lineage. If anything, it seemed like they were made because someone just wanted to. There's something raw about them, unalloyed even, made like their creator questioned their own significance. Yeah, and that goes back to kind of just the whole vibes with Archer are just, it's really hard to place everything about him, to be honest. That's what I think those are. I kind of agree. Mirrored swords without vanity. That is a perfect way to describe it. That is perfect. Black and white, a swordsmith's awkward representation of yin and yang. Yeah, I mean, it's even, you know, right above the hilt. You could see the, like a yin and yang, and then you have like the black, like arrow of sorts through the white blade, and then you have the white arrow through the black blade with like the a little bit of red mixed in there. I stand captivated because I feel like the way they are is beautiful. Absolutely. Caster's slash body disappears. Yeah, after seeing it off, the moment Archer looks like he's going to put his weapons away.
残念ね、アーチャー。あなたが本当にその程度だったなんて。
Caster's voice echoes throughout the desolate temple. Archer leaps. The barrage from earlier is mirrored. Bullets of light come flying from the sky to pierce Archer, and Archer repels them with his twin swords. No. This is different from before. That's a color. The ground is burnt red. The magical energy compressed within one of those lights is at least 3 times greater than my full capacity. I'm not sure how impressive that actually is. I'm sure it is. I'm sure even Archer would have half his body blown away if he took a direct hit. He'd be just like Caster earlier. Up in the sky. Yo! She's like a bat almost. I look up the sky. Also, that staff. Her fucking noble phantasm, I assume. That shit is crazy. What the hell? Oh, we're cooking now. That staff looks insane. I want to get a close-up on the top of her staff. Holy shit. And yeah, like she's floating in the air, but her cloak almost gives off a very like I'm Batman kind of vibe. Like, yeah, very interesting. The moon isn't visible, veiled behind a sea of dark clouds. In the middle of that, the black mage floats as if she reigns over the heavens.
空間転移か固有実制御か。どちらにせよ、この境内ならば魔法の真似事さえ可能ということか。
That's crazy. Teleportation and time alteration are interesting.
いや、大口を叩くだけはある。
Yeah, she's definitely playing games with Archer a little bit, though. While looking up at Caster, Archer adjusts the grip on his twin swords.
そうですか。私は見下げ果てたわ、アーチャー。
Damn, dude, the banter is crazy, though.
使えると思って試してみたけど、結果がこれではアサシン以下よ。
Yeah, we'll see.
耳に痛いな。次があるのなら。
Oh my god, I love the banter. Oh my god, I wouldn't go as far as to say I'd ship it, but I mean, I would, why not? But dude, I'm just loving the dynamic right now between Caster and Archer. What the fuck? The hell?
愚か者に次などありません。
That is really cool looking.
あなたはここで消えなさい、アーチャー。
Yeah. Archer becomes a streak. He takes off at full speed to get clear from Caster and this place.
逃げ切れると思って。
Let's see what she does. Caster's staff moves. The moment it points at Archer, something absurd flashes before my very eyes. Oh, I can't wait. That's pretty sick. No one can hear me say no way. Caster's attack is like a deluge of rain. Wow. The light that streaks down is like a bombing raid. Each spell is a death blow, and Caster rains them down uninhibited. I may be green at this, but even I can tell how off the charts this magecraft is. This is more like a grand magecraft. We've kind of seen, like, because we have Tosaka as a good gauge of this, because she is a very strong mage by all accounts. Something like that requires a magic circle and a 10 count instant contract, an incantation of at least 10 lines. Because Grand Magecraft is powerful, it requires more time to cast it. A normal mage would take a minute to cast such Magecraft. Even a mage that uses high-speed incantations would take 30 seconds, but she did it in an instant. She didn't even need an incantation, just pointed her staff, and she's using it continuously. I can't even think of anyone who would compare. I wonder if he's gonna figure out who she is. Holy shit!
めぎつなめ A ランクの魔術をここまで連発するとはよほど魔力を溜め込んだな
Possibly, or she's just built like that. Built different. He must have decided that he can't avoid them all anymore, as Archer sprints while deflecting them with his twin swords. Archer makes for the exit, but changes course halfway there, as if he just remembered something.
マルケ貴様いつまでそこに突っ立っている
Yeah, that's fair. Archer charges towards me with a fierce look. That makes me realize the place I'm standing is no longer safe. Yeah, you think? He was so, almost like intoxicated by the sight. I'm already in the range of the Rain of Light.
くそなんだってこんな手間を
Yeah, honestly, fair. Archer makes towards me. Look at how, like, pissed he is. The moment I try to jump back to avoid him, my body is flying through the air. I try to shake him off reflexively. You've got to be shitting me. Archer's now carrying me?
おろせバカ何考えてんだお前
Saving your ass?
いいから黙っていろお前に言われると自分のバカさ加減に頭を痛めるわバカが
Baka.
バカお前自分がバカだって分かってるのに人のことバカ呼ばわりするのかよこのバカ
There's a lot of bakas.
えいガキか貴様バカでガキと
Wow, wow!
せめてどちらかに決めておけタケメ
That's awesome. Archer must be wound up as his words make no sense. But even though he saved me, I just can't graciously accept.
いいから話せこれぐらい一人で何とかするお前の手なんて借りない
Yeah, that's fair. No, more than that, I can't bear being a hindrance to him. Archer should have been able to escape by now if it was just himself. But the exit is farther now that he's saved me. Archer running around the temple must be an easy target for Caster, who is above us. I mean, it's her only target after all.
そうかなら遠慮はいらんな
Then Archer drop kicks me? What the fuck, beast? That's crazy. Nah, he was doing that to get us out of the way. I tumble onto the ground. He must have kicked me hard as I flew at least 5 meters.
Damn it.
Wow. I endure the pain and get up. Archer is still. The rain of light bullets has also stopped. All that remains is a feeling of cold that hurts my ears. I finally get my bearings. What the fuck? The very air around Archer is frozen. Bro, let him cook.
気分はどうかしらあっちゃいかに三騎士といえど空間そのものを固定化されていては動けないのではなくて
Even as one of the 3 knights? Oh, do they mean like Archer, Saber, Lancer? I guess. Is that what she means? Because I guess... Yeah. They are all at the top. These would, I guess, be knights. It's like a... Not a subclass. It's like above a subclass. But, like, you get my point. Like, you kind of group them, I guess. Because, yeah, I guess none of these 4 would necessarily be knights. And they are at the top. This is the ranking. This is the theoretical ranking. But obviously, it's complicated. And, like, Berserker is, like, insane. Literally and figuratively. You can't move if space itself is frozen. It's just she froze space around him, apparently. That's crazy. Castor's triumphant voice. Archer must not be able to talk. It's like time is stopped for him.
どうやらこれで爪のようね。外にはセーバーもいることですし、これ以上あなたにかける時間はないわ。どこの英雄だったかは知らないけど、これでお別れよ、あっちゃ。
So is Archer about to just cook, or is Saber gonna save the day because she's gotten by assassin one way or another? Castor raises her left hand. From that hand, the light bullet of instant death is dropped. But right before that, Archer murmurs something.
何かしら、あっちゃ。命乞いなら聞いてあげても。
と言ったのだ、キャスター。
His tone is filled with irritation. I try to make out what he's saying and...
たわけ。かわせと言ったのだ、キャスター。
What? Archer leaps away. He must have broken the frozen space with force. With the sound of breaking glass, Archer flashes out of sight.
何よ、バカな。
Oh yeah, you're underestimating him. Distracted by Archer's angry shout, Castor is baffled. And then to either side of her, a flash of black and white converge on her. Castor's robe tears. She must have been given just enough warning from Archer's shout and narrowly escapes the attack. It should not need explaining, but it is Archer's blades that fly by. It was in an instant. Archer threw the twin swords to either side when he kicked me and got caught in the freezing spell. The blades boomeranged through the sky and made an arc back towards Castor.
さすがアーチャーってところか。ってあいつどこに。
Yeah, who knows? I'm left speechless. Yeah, that's the right reaction. Castor, too. The Red Knight leaps back into view and calls checkmate. He kneels on the ground and aims his bow towards the sky. His target is Castor, and the arrow he has knocked is the same magical blade that he shot at Berserker.
I am the bone of my sword.
English. Archer's voice shakes the air. We got English, baby. Oh shit, I am the bone of my sword. And she casted, like, yeah, her ancient magic nonsense. Castor weaves an urgent incantation, but having clearly anticipated that... Yeah, yeah, Kaladebolg, yeah, this is the... Yeah, the sword that, like, rivals... Yeah, the nemesis of, Lancer. Archer shoots the arrow. Yep, there it is. Whoa! Whoa! And there goes the shadow. Holy shit! Did he just cook? Is that his noble phantasm? No, that's his broken phantasm. Not the released arrow twists space itself. Castor's moan fills the air, and it is hot. The tornado-like arrow easily penetrated Castor's defense. Most likely, guessing from the distortion, I bet Castor would have been twisted along with space itself, even if she had teleported. Did we get her? Even then, Castor's still alive. The black robe is scattered, and the body underneath the robe has numerous cuts. Castor is using all her magical energy to regenerate. Oh, the remixes are always hit so hard. But I'm sure she would have died instantly without a chance to heal had it been a direct hit. Yeah, Archer's shot did not land a direct hit. The arrow was released into an empty space away from Castor, and her barrier of protection was destroyed from the aftermath. That makes sense. The arrow missed. No, that's wrong. He did not miss. He deliberately did not hit her. I don't know what his intentions are. Though he had the chance to finish her off, for whatever reason, Archer let her go. Stillness returns to the temple. Archer remains in front of me while Castor floats down, glaring at Archer all the while. That last attack must have taken a lot out of him, as I could sense that Archer's magical energy is low. That goes for Castor as well. Although it missed, Archer's attack scraped away most of Castor's body and magical energy. Yeah, I will say, like, all things aside, I am curious what's up with Rin and all this. Even if there was a big pool of magical energy here, it's useless if Castor is too injured to collect. Sure. Internal bleeding, it looks like. Castor lands dispirited. She seems to have managed to reform her body, but she's running on empty inside. It should be impossible to continue fighting. Castor stares at us while breathing heavily. For some reason, she seems to be comparing the both of us.
あーちゃ、今の一撃、なぜ外したのです？
Yep, and she recognized the same thing that Shirou did. The demoralization is in her voice as well. Archer shrugs as if to say it should be obvious.
いや、試すのは一撃だけと言っただろう。初めの一撃はかわされたからな。その後はただのおまけだ。なんだ。それともまさか約束を違えても当てて欲しかったのか？
Damn. He's crazy. He really is. I love it.
では、私を殺す気はなかったと？
No.
つい挑発に乗っただけだ。私の目的はそこの男にあったからな。他のサーバントと戦うなど予定にはなかった。
Yeah, I was just gonna get Shirou out of here and chill and grab a beef bowl, maybe a midnight beef bowl. It sounds pretty fucking fire. Maybe get some chicken wings or something. Nah, man. Nah, I didn't want anything to do with this fight. He really didn't seem to come here with any hostility at first. Yeah, and then Castor decided to be Castor, and the rest was history.
そう。どうやら私と戦いに来たというわけではなかったよね。
I love that he's smirking now.
ああ、そこの男が腰抜けなのと同じでね。不必要な戦いは避けるのが主義だ。
Fair enough.
剣を取るときは必勝の好機であり、必殺を誓ったときのみだ。意味のない殺生は苦手でな。
I respect that. I don't know what's so funny, but Castor gives a hearty laugh.
そう。ならあなたたちは似た者同士ということ？
はあ? Yeah, they both hated that! That's great! Oh my god, the duel. Huh? Oh, that's so fucking funny. What the shit? Oh, that's so good. Man, dude, this route is fucking killing me, man. Every episode has just been so hype. We got another amazing episode tonight. That's the thing, these episodes only need to be one day because we're getting amazing content every day now. We reply in unison. Similar? Me and that guy? What makes her say that?
違うのかしら。あなたたちは無益な殺生が嫌なのでしょ？そこの坊やは私のような無関係な人間を糧にするサーバントが許せない。あなたは無意味な殺戮は好まない。ほら、全く同じじゃない。だから手を組んでいるのではなくて。
The irony is they hate each other and feel like they're nothing alike too.
どうしてそんなふざけた結論になる？お前目が腐ってるぞ。誰がこんなやつと一緒なもんか。
Ironically, they've never. I think Archer and Shirou have never been more in sync than in this moment.
同感だ。平和主義者なのは同じだが、根本が大きく異なる。厄介事は早めに片付けるのが私の方針だ。この男のようにいつまでも悩んだりはしない。
A ponderous oath is crazy.
何が平和主義者だ。俺は忘れてないぞ。お前はバーサーカーと一緒にセイバーを狙って。セイバー一人に戦わせて、自分は安全なところにいたくせに。
I don't know if we should be giving all this intel that, I mean, she might already know it, and she probably does based on how that scene went, but I still don't know if we should be having this conversation in front of Castor.
仕方なかろう。あの時はまだ共闘関係ではなかった。セイバーの安全より バーサーカーを倒すことが優先されただけだ。
If anything, the best case scenario would have been the 2 for 1 at the time.
それとも何か目に映るもの全てを助けろなどというのではあるまいな。ならばバーサーカーとて倒す対象にはならないか。
Yeah, that's fair. I love how we're just having this conversation in front of Caster. That's absolutely hilarious. We glare at each other. Man, I really don't get along with this guy. Part of that is because of your similarities. They do have a lot of similarities, albeit a lot of differences as well. Why does everything he says get on my nerves? Because he's amazing. Bro is based as fuck, and you just have to deal with it. Although I will say, I've been enjoying Caster quite a bit so far. Meanwhile, Caster's laugh is even more amused as she looks between us.
気に入ったわ。あなたたちは力もそのあり方も希少よ。
Interesting.
敵に回してしまうのは惜しい。
Interesting. Does she want to make this like a... God, are we going to create like a giant alliance? That would be crazy, because they've really, all they've done is portray Caster in a very antagonistic light. My head tilts in confusion. Archer looks away from me and glares at Caster.
ちょっと待て。何が言いたいんだ。
Because, yeah, if we aligned with Caster, we'd be aligning with Assassin. At that point, I mean, we'd have, like, most of the... Yeah, it would just be Rider and Lancer and Berserker.
わからない？私と手を組みなさいと言っているのよ。
Interesting.
私なら今のパートナーより優れたものを用意できるわ。
That's a crazy comment. That sounds really kinky, and I'm here for it.
坊やにはセイバー以上のサーバントを。アーチャーは今のマスターより優れた魔術師と契約できる。
Interesting. My mind grinds to a halt. I question her sanity and seriousness.
悪い話ではないはずよ。私にはこの戦いを終わらせる用意がある。言った
Interesting.
でしょ？
She does like to
勝つことなんて
bargain.
たやすいと。どう？生き残りたいのなら私に従うべきじゃなくて？
There's not even an option here. I decided to fight to stop those who involve innocent people. Yeah, because she's a bad person. Like, that immediately, like... Yeah, that makes that just an absolute no-go for Shirou. As such, I can't accept the offer of someone like her.
断る。俺はお前みたいな魔女とは手を組まない。
Damn, you hit her with the witch line again. That's all there is to it. It should be obvious where I'd stand. I can't ally myself with this servant, nor can I betray those I'm already partnered with. Yeah, that's just everything about that is the antithesis of Shirou. I'm going to fight alongside Saber, and Archer would also never betray Tosaka. Wait. This guy, he's hesitating.
おい、アーチャー。
Dude, if he just straight up was like, fuck you guys, I'm out, that would be so fucking funny.
拒否する。君の力を借りる理由がない。それ以前に君の陣営はいささか戦力不足だ。いかに勢力を伸ばそうとバーサーカー一人に及ばない。
Oh, I like that
まだ
he's
組みするほどの条件ではないな。
I like that he's talking about it from the perspective of being like the pragmatic, very just not from any moral perspective. I sigh with relief. Oh, I had a bad feeling, but he's not like that. I hate him, but he's firm on his beliefs.
そう。交渉は決裂ということ。
I don't know if they ever really started, to be completely honest.
だがここで君と戦う気はない。この場に居合わせたのは私の独断でね。マスターの命令ではないから君を撃つ理由はない。
I'd be down to call this a draw, because that means...
痛み分けということで手を打たないか。
Because that means more Caster later, hopefully. I doubt my own ears. Did he just say that he's going to let Caster go?
意外ね。あなたのマスターは私を追っていたでしょ。なのにあなたは私を見逃すというの。
It is interesting for sure.
ああ、お前がここで何人殺そうが知らん。それは私には預かり知らぬことだ。
Interesting.
あら、ひどい男。毒は使いようということ？
Huh.
私のマスターはマスター殺しに精力的でなくてね。その分、お前が他のマスターを潰す。
Wow.
何かと助かる。
Wow.
その後でも遅くはあるまい。
Damn. Okay. Okay, Archer. I like it. A little edginess there. Because he's been pretty, like, morally strong up to this point. It was like, yeah, you take care of some masters. There's a little, like, see, it's not an alliance, but it's a little understanding here, potentially, between Caster and Archer. Hold on, Caster. Caster seemed... Oh, there it is. Yeah, it was weird. It didn't play it, and then when I hit the next line, he said the line. Caster seemed to have accepted Archer's proposal as she turns around. I run to Caster as she moves to vanish, but Archer stops me.
バカカキ様。追えば確実に死ぬぞ。
Yeah, he knows how to negotiate and speak to people like that, that's for sure. He says indifferently. Though true, his words make me feel so furious I make myself nauseous. And there she goes. I stop. Caster's black gown flutters in the wind and disappears like magic. Not like magic, it is magic, bro. She's gone. Only Archer and I remain on the temple grounds. Seeing him gets on my nerves. He saved me twice today. That's what he does. He saves your ass, particularly in this route. Caster would have taken my command spells if it weren't for him, and I'm sure I would have died from that deluge of light. But this is different. I can't forgive him for letting Caster go.
アーチャー、なんでキャスターを逃がした？
戦う時ではなかったからだ。ここで切り伏せたところで、あれはすぐさま逃げおせただろう。今の空間転移、見逃したわけではあるまい。
Yeah, that's fair. That's true. We wouldn't be able to capture Caster if she really wanted to get away. On top of that, this temple is Caster's territory. She's a witch. Even if she was weakened, I'm sure she had at least one or two tricks up her sleeve that I can't wait to see later. Yeah, she still has her noble phantasm.
キャスターを倒すのなら、マスターが先なのだ。いかに空間を飛んで逃れようが、よりしろであるマスターが倒されれば、キャスターとて消えざるを得ないからな。
Going for the master and not the servant. That is the safest and most sure approach in the Holy Grail War.
それは分かってる。けど、だからって見逃すのか。街で起きてる事件は全部あいつの仕業なんだろう。キャスターを止めない限り犠牲者は出続ける。
Yeah, that's classic Shirou
そん
action.
なの放っておくなんてできない。
なぜ？お前自身が傷つくことではあるまい。むしろ、奴にはこのまま続けてもらいたいぐらいだ。
Yeah, that's not gonna sit well with Shirou.
キャスターは人々から正気を吸い上げ、その力でバーサーカーを倒す。私たちはその後でキャスターを倒せばいい。私とリンはキャスターは倒せるが、バーサーカーには及ばないのでな。バーサーカーを倒すまでキャスターには好きにさせておくさ。
Yeah, obviously that's cool in theory, but the morality of the situation does make things awkward. My face heats up. Blood rushes to my head and I want to punch him.
ふざけるな。遠坂、そんな方針は取らない。
そうだな。だからこそ、キャスターには手早くことを済ませてほしいものだ。リンがキャスターに追いつけば、対決は避けられない。
Yep.
その前にキャスターが、バーサーカーを退治してくれれば理想的だ。
That does all make sense to me. That does track, but obviously Shirou's not a fan either.
何人犠牲になるかは知らんが、それでバーサーカーが倒せるのならば、安いものだろう。
And that's how he looks at it, yep.
人間など、結局は死ぬ生き物。誰にどう殺されようが、結果的には変わるまい。
That goes back to something I was talking about in a video I was recording earlier in the day, that death is the one experience shared by all of humanity.
キャスターも手ぬるい。いっそ魔力だけでなく命まで奪ってしまえばよいもの。町中の人間が死に絶えれば少しは戦いやすくなる。私のマスターも根は甘いからな。
Yeah, that's fair.
もはやなりふりなどに構ってはいられまい。
Yeah, you definitely could take this a lot further if you wanted to, that's for sure. The Red Knight smiles dryly. Yeah, and of course, the flashbacks to 10 years ago. He sounds amused. He feels the people living here are in the way. Yep. He's saying the same things as Caster.
ああ、お前も知っての通り、リンは形式にこだわるタイプでね。
Yep.
魔術師としては申し分ないが、マスターとしては汚さに欠ける。
That's a perfect way to describe Rin. I agree.
そうだな。彼女がキャスターのようになってくれれば、私もここまで苦労はしないのだが。
Yeah, it's about to piss off Shirou.
お前
Yeah. Oh, you went for a swing. I punch Archer's face. Well, I punch in that general direction, but he easily avoids it.
何をする？私たちは協力関係ではなかったか？
ふざけるな。俺はお前とは違う。勝つために、結果のために周りを犠牲にするなんて、そんなこと絶対にするものか。
You would convince yourself you're not doing that because you stand on a moral high ground, but your actions don't always necessarily line up with that line of thinking.
それは私も同じだ、エミヤシロ。だが、すべての人間を救うことはできまい。
This is the biggest inherent difference between Archer and Shirou, is the fact that Archer has accepted this concept, and Shirou is like the opposite of that.
例えば、キャスターが聖杯を手に入れてしまえば、被害はこの町だけにとどまるまい。それは、イリアスフィールも他のマスターも同じだ。
Yeah, that's a fair way to look at it.
聖杯を私利私欲で使わぬマスターは、私が知る限り、お前とリンだけだからな。故に、私たちが勝利しなければ、被害はさらに大きくなる。
Yeah, he's looking at it as, you know, he's looking at the numbers, and he's like, I want to save as many people as possible, and the biggest key for that is for Rin or Shirou to win the Holy Grail.
ならば、この町の人間には犠牲になってもらい、私たちの役に立ってもらうしかあるまい。
But again, that's a very utilitarian way of looking at things that doesn't vibe with Shirou's mindset.
その結果で被害を抑えられるのなら、お前の方針と同じだろうさ。
Because he wants to save everyone. I feel numb. He doesn't need to explain it. I can't save everyone. Kiritsugu always said that. So I should be over it, but it's just the way that he says it that just pisses me off. Yeah, no, he definitely says it. Like, that is completely fair and reasonable of you, Emiya. Don't worry. Like, he does say it in a way that I could totally see pissing you off, 100%.
無関係な人間を巻き込みたくないと言ったな。ならば認めろ。一人も殺さない。などという方法では、結局誰も救えない。
That's a good line. Refusing to kill someone doesn't lead to anyone being saved.
キャスターの言う通り、残念ながら私たちは似た者同士だ。犠牲者を出したくないというのなら、協力し合うしかあるまい。
違う。俺はお前なんかとは組まない。お前なんて絶対に認めない。
And that's just the fact that, like, yeah, he's so committed to his morality here. That champion of justice, hero of justice vibes.
お前が信じたものはリンだけだったな。
It makes sense. I turn my back to Archer. I'm different than him. I can't let Caster be, so there's only one course of action.
まさか、キャスターを追うつもりか?
Oh my lord. I ignore him and start walking. My destination is inside the temple. Oh lord. If this is Caster's territory, then her workshop is inside the
信
temple.
じられんな。お前一人ではキャスターにかなうべくもない。命が惜しいのなら、やめておけ。
Bro is stubborn to a fault, though. Archer follows, complaining the entire way.
まったく。せっかく助けてやった命を無駄にするのか。
Yeah, that's what he plans to
そ
do.
れは構わんが。せめて感謝の一言でも残したらどうだ。
Wow.
先ほどの女性は私なりの行為だったのだがね。命の恩人とまではいかないが、視線を共にくぐり抜けた友人ぐらいにはありがたがってほしいものだ。
I mean, honestly, that's kind of fair. Man, he really gets on my nerves.
うるさい。誰がお前なんかに友情を感じるもんか。いいからさっさと遠坂のところに帰れ。
He really
頼まれ
doesn't.
たってお前の手助けなんていらないんだから。
He really doesn't want to lead you to your death, though. I turn away and head towards the temple without looking back for good this time. There.
そうか。懐かれなくて何よりだ。
He's about to knock you out, isn't he? I feel a chilling premonition of death. Before I could fully manage to leap out of the way, Archer brings a sword down on me. Yeah, he's knocking him out. Oh my god, he actually hurt us. Holy shit. Okay, I didn't see that coming. He cuts me at the shoulder. My blood comes pouring out, and I feel like I'll pass out the moment my focus wavers. The pain's so sharp that I feel like my skin and muscles are burning. I mean, that works too, I guess. I back away with wobbly steps. I can't even flee. All my remaining strength is sapped, and it's all I could do to remain on my feet. Yep. Bro was like, nah, you ain't going in there. I said so. You were absolutely not going in there, motherfucker.
外したか。さっき抑えきれなかった私の落ち度か。とっさに反応したお前の起点か。まあ、どちらでも構わないが。
I mean, that could be true, but I don't buy it. But this is crazy. This whole episode has been absolutely insane. Now we got Archer either, like, stabbing, whatever you want to call it, Shirou, slicing Shirou up. Like, what in the world is going on? This is crazy, and I'm here for every second of it. Just as I'm here for every second of those abs, I totally don't want to lick or anything. Archer walks towards me with his sword covered in my blood. I'll be killed. My instinct is that I'm going to die, and my feet struggle to move. The temple's exit. I stagger towards the stairs beyond the mountain gate and retreat back. He must know that this is a fatal wound. His steps are unhurried. Everything is going fuzzy. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't even recall why I'm fleeing or why I was cut to begin with. It feels like my thoughts and memory are following the blood dripping from my body. Maybe I'm still conscious because of that sword he's holding? The white short sword. That plain blade holds my attention and keeps me from closing my eyes. But it comes to an end. The mountain gate is right behind me. The stairs are right there, but I can't even turn around. The moment I do, I'm sure Archer will split me in two.
最後だ。戦う意義のないエミやシロはここで死ね。
That's crazy. Is this where we get a save from Saber, potentially? He raises his blade. The white yin sword is raised like a guillotine.
戦う意義だって。
そうだ。自分のためではなく、誰かのために戦うの
Yep,
は
yep.
ただの偽善だ。お前が望むものは勝利ではなく平和だろう。
He's right, and this is something we've gone into a lot in the Fate route, obviously.
そんなもの、この世のどこにもありはしないというのにな。
Unfortunately, he might be right. Even as my consciousness fades, I feel defiant. But both my body and mind are at their limit.
さらばだ。理想を抱いて溺死しろ。
Drown in your ideals and die is... Oh, it's so badass. But yeah, I think we're getting Saber here. His voice is filled with hatred. He swings the yin sword Bakuya. Once more, the blade slashes at me, this time to sever my very life. But right before that, with only the thought of defying his word, I jump backwards without thinking of the consequences. Interesting. I didn't see that coming. His sword cuts the air and my body flies through the air. The bottomless darkness is behind me. With a horrible sound, my body crashes into the stonework. Then it rolls down the mountain stairs. Oh, that's so funny. Are we gonna literally crash into the fight between Saber and Assassin? I hear an unfamiliar voice near me.
Shirou.
Yep. I also hear a familiar voice. My vision is almost gone. I attempt to lift my body, but can only collapse in a heap back to earth.
シロしっかり。おのれ、ここまでの傷を負わせて、なお階段から叩き落としたのか。
Is that Saber? Saber supports my body and speaks with urgency. But that's bad. I don't know their identity, but there's one other unknown servant nearby. She's tending to me. It leaves her wide open for an attack. Yeah.
まだ間に合います。シロの回復量ならこのまますぐに帰還すれば。
She must have realized mid-sentence. She looks back at the servant behind her.
アサシ、なぜ私を撃たなかった？
それこそ無粋。刹那の花を摘むことなど誰にもできぬ。
Bro, so poetic. Saber tilts her head, unable to grasp the enemy's true intentions.
何？その横顔に見とれただけよ。果たし合う顔も良かったが、今の張り詰めようも捨てがたくてな。ついめでてしまったのだ。
Bro trying out the Riz. Is that a kimono? Oops. Wrong button. The servant dressed anachronistically turns his back towards us.
今宵はこれで十分。立ち去るがいい、セイバー。
Oh, we might get an out here.
私たちを見逃すというのか、アサシン。
Potentially.
そうだ。この続き、いずれ果たすというのなら見逃そう。
Yeah, bro wants this fight, but he's willing to wait for it.
今のお前では満足な戦いは望めまい。私とてそれは惜しい。
Yeah, that's fair. Bro wants an honorable fight. Saber glares at Assassin, and Assassin stares calmly at Saber. Their stare down lasts for a few seconds.
わかりました、アサシン。あなたとの決着は必ず。
Awesome.
良い返事だ。期待しているぞ、騎士王よ。
Yep. Saber takes me in her arms and heads down the stairs. However, I see the knight in red following us from the mountain gate, determined not to let me go.
アーチャー？
Yeah, this is complicated. Saber says in wonder. He said that he kills me, that he kills when he can ensure it. He's a man of his word. He can't let me leave here alive. If he swung his sword trying to kill me, I'm sure he will do whatever he can to kill me now. Oh shit. Dude, this is so hype! The red cloak flutters like a feather. It doesn't matter whether Saber is here or not. Archer jumps down and slashes his sword at me. Swords clash. A counterattack like a flash of light. The intercepting blade parries Archer's sword, then makes for his neck as he hangs in midair. But which one is it? I was about to say, which one is it? Because, yeah, this sword, because Assassin's got a sword too, yep. Archer twists his body and lands. What the fuck is going on? I love all of this! This is crazy! This actually really, I feel like in this episode especially, it really feels like a battle royale situation. Like, this is getting crazy. The knight in red is blocked by the servant in a kimono and cannot pass down the stairs.
邪魔をするつもりか、侍。
Archer readies his twin swords and faces the assassin-class servant. With that in front of him, Assassin adjusts his hold on his sword as if nothing happened.
それはこちらのセリフだ。貴様こそ。
Ah,
と言った私の
yeah.
邪魔をするつもりか?
I guess that does make sense, to be fair. His voice is oddly pleasant. I don't know what his goal is, but he really intends to let us leave. He wants a fight with Saber and, you know?
私の役割はここの門番だ。生きては倒産し、生きては返さん。行きは見逃したが、帰りは別だ。いささか雅さにかける首だが、今宵はそれで収めるとしよう。
Bro thinks he's such a badass too. That's actually hilarious. He intends to go for the kill. Assassin's fighting spirit is as sharp as his longsword. There is no dominating presence like Archer or Saber where their everything feels involved. His is a sharpened razor edge that precisely aims for the neck. Well, he is assassin after all.
セイバーに傷一つつけられなかったキャスターの手駒風情がこの俺と戦うと。貴様こそあのメギツネを驚かせようと送ったというのに、我が身可愛さで逃げ帰るとは失望したぞ。
The wily old fox, that's great. Oh, the banter is just amazing. Like all these dickheads. Like Saber is like too proper for this level of banter that a lot of the servants have with each other when it's not Saber involved. Their confrontation is short. Both parties demonstrate fantastical swordplay. I'm captivated by what I see. To be honest, I can't even make out Assassin's sword technique. I'm not unused to swordplay, but I can't make heads or tails out of it. It's too swift and deadly. The contrast is what makes me so fascinated. Dancing twin blades, Archer manages to defend himself against such inhuman ability, but his techniques look like something even I could do someday. I don't like it, but you could say I'm impressed. He's fighting against Assassin's magical sword with techniques acquired by experience and sheer force of will rather than talent. Damn it, it's obvious that he's strong. Yep, you can't deny that part of this whole situation. It's a different strength than Tosaka or Saber. All the training he went through because he's not extraordinary. Yep, he's the ideal that, like, he's what you would look up to, and yet at the same time, there's very specific reasons why you never would. I bet he didn't have anything. So with his limited resources, he trains his heart out and got to that level. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Saber's voice brings me back to reality. We leave Ryudou Temple with Saber carrying me. Assassin and Archer's swordplay echoes behind us without pause. That's fire. Alright, looks like we got away. Holy shit. So what did we get on Saber? Archer, maybe? Neutral balanced is cool. Mind's Eye True. That might have been what we got. Unless it was something on... Oh, nothing on her. Assassin. That's crazy. Master Caster is crazy. That's actually insane. Yeah, that's a good twist. I really like that. Because, yeah, she is a mage after all. Like, that's really sweet. Oh, unless it was something on Saber. No, it wouldn't be something on Saber. Yeah, I love this shit, though. I think it's really cool. Anyways, my wound is almost healed by the time we get back. Yeah, we're still going. We're gonna do the same thing, classic thing. We're gonna get a full day in. When the day actually ends, that's when we'll end the episode. So we're probably, I presume, quite close to the end of the episode here, but we're gonna keep it going for now.
セイバーとつながってるからセイバーの治癒能力がついてきているんじゃない？
Well, our alliance with Tosaka just got a lot more complicated, given Archer tried to kill us. Tosaka's opinion might be correct, as my wound heals quickly when Saber's touching me. Interesting.
一体何があったのですか、シロ。
A lot. Saber demands an explanation once we get to the dojo after treating my wound and getting changed, all without waking Fuji-nee up. Yeah, it's a lot. I do my best to summarize all the important points. How I was controlled by Castor and went to the temple, the coma incidents happening in town and Castor's relation to them, Archer who saved me when my command spells were about to be taken, and how Archer tried to kill me in the end. Saber seems to ponder something. I would get why she would want to organize her thoughts, since all this happened in one night. Yeah, it was crazy, dude. Dude, it's like every day we're getting like some juicy shit, dude. This is so action-packed compared to the Fate route. And again, I'm not like complaining, it's just crazy because I just didn't expect this much action. Like every episode has been like, I mean, the first episode was just like basically pretty much entirely like things that happened in the Fate route. That was basically all rehashed. But the last 3 episodes of Unlimited Blade Works have been psychotic. Like just crazy shit after crazy shit. This has been so good too. Like really interesting stuff as well. But lots of action.
では、アーチャーはキャスターを見逃したのですか？
Yep.
はあ、見逃したさ。あいつは最低だ。いくら勝つためでも、キャスターみたいなやつを利用するだなんて。
Well, I mean, he's viewing it from.
キャスターと何も変わらないじゃないか。
I mean, I get where he's coming from, Shirou that is, but obviously, like, Archer sees it as serving the greater good. It pisses me off when I think back to it. Damn it, I wish I'd gotten a hit in on him. Then, Saber has a weird expression on her face.
セイバー、なんでそこで笑うんだよ。
いいえ、シローが人の悪口を言うなんて珍しいと思いまして。まだ数日ほどしかシローを見ていませんが、あなたはそんな風に陰口を言う人ではないと分かっていましたから。
That's how much Archer pisses him off. Now that she mentions it, I have been complaining a lot.
けどしょうがないだろ。アーチャーはそれだけのことを言ったんだ。あいつは何より相棒の遠坂をバカにしたんだぞ。
That's not really how I'd frame it. I think he was just saying that, like, she's incredible, she's an impeccable mage, she's just not suited to be a master necessarily.
そうですね。ですがシロー、一つ尋ねますが、シローはアーチャーの裏切りが許せないのですか？
No space on the period, but not really a typo necessarily.
どうも、あなたは彼に切りつけられたことを怒
No,
っているようには見えない。
it runs deeper than that. Oh, she's right. Archer's actions would constitute betrayal. No, but that is...
それは違う。あいつは俺を裏切ったわけじゃない。
Yeah, it's...
初めからあいつとは何も約束していなかった。
Yeah.
だから、アーチャーが俺を襲っても、それはありなんだと思う。
Yeah, because this wasn't under Rin's orders or anything, and like, yeah, his truce is entirely with Tosaka. It's complicated.
それはそうですが、まったく不思議ですね。
That is certainly one way to put it, Saber. I'm with you, girl. But her tone has a certain fondness to it, but she can appreciate it because, like, he does have a incredibly strong moral compass, and it is admirable, even if you could argue that it might be at times a little too strong.
結論から言うと、私もシローと同じです。キャスターは放置できませんが、アーチャーは非道ではないのでしょう。
And that's fair.
ちょっと待て。人の話のどこら辺を聞いてたんだよ、セイバ
ー。
すべてです。それを踏まえた上で、私もシローと同意見だと言っています。
Sure.
加えて、彼の嫌疑は清流でした。心によこしまなものがないのでしょう。
Aww.
舞うような剣撃は、彼の人格を物語っていると思う。
I mean, if anyone would be able to tell character from swordplay, it probably would be Saber. I don't like it even more now. Something is wrong with Saber to compliment him. First of all, Archer's technique is... No, I was just being delusional. He's like yogurt that's about to expire compared to Saber. Wow. Wow. Simp!
何言ってんだ。あいつの剣なんて大したことない。不意打ちしたくせに俺一人殺し損ねたんだぞ。
But that's what's so admirable about him.
と名乗れるってもんだ。
He's, despite everything, he's a servant. Like, that's how hard he worked, right? You'd see it the other way.
ですからシローも筋がいいのです。
Aww.
長く鍛えればアーチャーに届く技量になりましょう。
That would be crazy to see. I can't object if she says so while making that face. Anyhow, Saber approves of Archer's technique. I don't know why, but I can't stand that fact because you love Saber! And you're jealous of Archer, which I feel like I could probably qualify for both of those, but you could also, like, flip that, like, however you want to frame that sentence, like, however you want to use the words, like, they can, really just about any combination can fit here.
Saber, 俺筋がいいって言ったな。
Yeah.
はい。上ずれば良い使い手となるでしょう。
Yeah, we saw a fair bit of that in the Fate route. Obviously not to the level of Archer or anywhere close, but we did get to see quite a bit of that in the Fate route.
決めた。なら傷が治り次第剣を教えてくれ。
And that lines up with the Fate route. This is something that happens in both routes. I imagine probably in all three, to be honest.
今までみたいな生き残るための鍛錬じゃなくて、戦う方法を教えてほしい。
Makes sense. I shake Saber's hand and look her directly in the eyes.
あ、はい。シローがそういうのでしたら構いませんが。
Sounds good to me. Alright, I have no complaints if I could study under Saber. I can't repeat the same failure as tonight, and it's not like me to keep on running away. Most importantly, I can't lose to the guy who said we need more victims in order to reduce the total number of victims, yeah. I get why it pisses off Shirou so much, though, absolutely. It's entirely fair. But I also get where Archer is coming from. Holy shit, is this it? Holy fuck, what a night. Oh my god, that episode was amazing. Oh, I feel like I've said that like every episode. Oh my god, this route is cooking so hard, dude. They're gonna overcook this shit at this rate. That's crazy, man. So fucking good. I do want to really quickly see the title of the next episode, though, before I get my quick pause in. What does February 6th day... What's it named? Ghost Waltz. That's a cool name. What the fuck? Ghost Waltz? Oh, yeah. You have my attention. Holy guacamole! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone else that's right here, that was episode 22 of Fate Stay Night and episode 4 of Unlimited Blade Works, and I mean, apparently this is like Unlimited Fight Works, because every day there's a sick fight, there's something really cool happening, like, it feels like there's no breaks in this story in this route, and I am here for it. It's been an absolute blast to watch. I've been having so much fun with Fate, coming back to Fate after, a much longer hiatus than I would have liked, and I'm glad that it's living up to the hype after all that time, because obviously, I had such a strong emotional resonance to the Fate route, and obviously, whether we ever get to those heights emotionally in UBW remains to be seen, but just the actual, sheer entertainment value episode to episode early on has definitely surpassed the Fate route in that regard, if nothing else. Like, this has just been so much fun. Every episode is such a treat. We get some awesome fights. We get some really cool moments, and it also, I think, like, that element makes it feel like we're making progress every episode, which is something I really enjoy as well, because that was obviously something in, when I played the Fate route, it didn't always feel like I was making progress. Obviously I was, and like, I'm fully expecting Unlimited Blade Works to probably be a similar length to the Fate route in the end, and I wouldn't be surprised if Unlimited Blade Works slows down at some point. Who knows how the pacing is going to continue over time, but I just say, like, all these fights and these dramatic sequences and everything, it just makes it feel like we're making progress. And, like, obviously this episode was really interesting because we learned a big reveal. We learned Assassin's Master is Caster, which is crazy. Now, obviously, we still don't know Caster's identity. There's no telling whether we're even going to learn Caster's identity in this route. It's very possible that that could be a Heaven's Feel reveal, because... And I actually want to... Can I do it here? I don't think I actually can from this screen. If config... No, I can't do it from here. I would have to actually load into the game. But what I was going to say, I was going to look at that, and I was thinking about it, and it's like... I mean, we know who Saber is. We don't know, but I was like thinking of like the actual potatoes, and yeah, there's only 3 servants who we don't know the identity of at this point, which is Caster. It's basically the ladies Sans Saber and Archer, and it is very clear that we are going to get the Archer reveal in Unlimited Blade Works, which means the only ones that we don't have are Caster and Ryder. So one of those, either Caster or Ryder, if not both, but at least one of those has to be saved for Heaven's Feel. I wouldn't be surprised if Ryder is saved for Heaven's Feel, since I'm expecting Heaven's Feel to be Sakura themed. And obviously that would make sense for Shinji and Ryder to play a big part in a Sakura-themed route. And like I said, we're totally getting the Archer true name reveal in UBW, which, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they also save Caster for Heaven's Feel, because we got the Caster is the Master of Assassin reveal here in Unlimited Blade Works, which was... certainly a crazy reveal, but a really cool one nonetheless, and something like, yeah, that was just absolutely sick. I love that. Like, everything about that was just, it's so cool. It makes sense, but it's also just such a crazy reveal. I thought that was, I mean, that might have been my favorite reveal of Unlimited Blade Works so far. That was so fucking cool. And, like, obviously, it wasn't a chills moment. It was just like a, oh, that's really sick moment. But yeah, no, this was a really cool episode, and getting to have like an extended interaction with Caster was really cool, and to get to see some of a Caster v Archer fight was sick as well, and like just all the different servants involved in this episode. Like, we were getting Saber, Archer, Assassin, Caster, you know, all these potatoes involved, even though in that entire thing, the only master that was actually involved was Shirou, and I mean, I guess technically Caster, but you get the point, right? She's a bit of a special case, to say the least. But that's just really cool how this whole thing is playing out, and how they're playing into, even in the first entry in the Fate series, they're playing into the into weird loopholes in the way the Holy Grail War works in the first entry of the series, which is crazy, but really cool. So, yeah, like the Caster thing was definitely unexpected, because that feels like something you do in a sequel, not in the original work. That feels like something that might have been that feels like a Fate Zero plot twist. Ironically, a sequel, even though it's a prequel, but you get my point. That feels like a Fate Zero plot twist, or, you know, some other Fate-related work twist, as opposed to a OG Fate Stay Night twist. So, shouts to that. Like, it definitely was unexpected and really cool, and it adds an interesting layer with Caster and Assassin that makes me interested in both of their characters more, to be perfectly honest. Assassin essentially being a tool of a tool, and, you know, Caster doing her thing the way she is. Just really interesting stuff all around. I really liked Caster from everything we've seen up to this point in the series, but I really like what we got of Caster in this episode, and I'm very excited to see more of her. And I do hope to see more of her in Unlimited Blade Works, even if we don't get the true name reveal, because I do kind of feel like they're probably going to save that as well as Ryder for Heaven's Feel, just because we're clearly getting Archers in UBW, and we don't have that many true names left to reveal at this point. I mean, because even the extra servant, we know who that is, of course, good old Gilgamesh. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all this goes. But I really enjoyed this episode. I've really been enjoying Fate. Obviously, like I said, at the time I'm finishing this, yeah, you should be getting this video in about 4.5 hours after I'm wrapping up this video, so that's kind of funny. But nonetheless, this has been a great time. I'm loving Fate. I'm loving just everything. Like, everything's just fantastic. I'm loving these videos. I'm having such a grand time playing this game. And it hasn't even felt like much of a grind because everything's just been boom, boom, boom. Like, just so much action in Unlimited Blade Works so far. It's just been a blast. And I hope you guys are enjoying the LP as much as I've been enjoying reading and playing this game, because it's been fantastic so far. Unlimited Blade Works has been an absolute treat. And I can't wait to get further into it with all of you guys. So if you want to support the channel, Patreon's down below in the description. Without any further ado, it's time for me to bid you adieu. The Flamin' Shark signing out. Hope you have a wonderful, fantastical day. And I'll see you next time with another video. Thanks for watching. Peace.